I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sorry says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at itsorry@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is a community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
They do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/VinandSorry. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start. Plus, you get exclusives. Sorry and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you go, listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch.
Indeed. How shall lead them?
This is unexpected. We weren't planning on being here.
Yeah. This is.
But you know what? The lone rider gets his way.
It's true. It's just some people.
I was like, man, if it's anybody else.
It's also the 12th day of the Christmas feast, the Epiphany, 3 Kings Day, Orthodox Christmas Eve.
Oh.
Gang, shout out to all my Orthodox people.
All right, so down in the corner here is the lone rider.
Yep.
He has put together a dope stream for us tonight.
Is that what it's called? The dope
Well,
stream?
he said I wanted it to be a dope stream, so I chose my favorite form of music, NuMetal, before I started working my butt off again. So I just want to have some fun, and so these are my song choices.
Take off the, what do you call it?
Oh, echo?
Yeah. Gang, what's up? Vin, your mic is a little echoey. This is actually Sorry's mic, actually.
I have to unplug this.
Okay, we're going to off in a second. We're still here, though. We're still here. Tech issues right off the bat. Going to be a good stream. I think you guys can still hear me here, right? Don't worry.
It is disabled.
It is? Shiza. Okay, well, plug it in, come back. We'll fix it. They say it sounds better now, so what can you do?
But the camera was unplugged.
I'm back. It's back on.
And
The camera's back on.
it said disabled, so.
Let me know if if you guys still hear the echo. It should be a good stream. Okay, Kopi says it's better now.
Oh, well, good.
So
You like my flat ironed hair?
it's okay.
It's just okay.
It's
I used my new flat iron.
It's
Oh, you're not really a
It
fan?
looks nice. It looks nice.
All right. So we are gonna hop into. This is Spineshank, New Disease.
Yeah.
And he said it's a dope sounding song that I feel is a good jumping off point for this stream. So here we are.
I'm Death fan. Oh my God, that guy. Tina Biggs in the house. Hopefully the echo's done. That pic from it looks like. Remember we were watching all that metaverse stuff? Didn't that look like what he'd look like in the metaverse? Yeah. I gotta have a.
That's true.
That's
great.
I gotta have a metaverse avatar.
Me too.
All right.
I'm gonna have Pony create mine.
What'd you say?
I said I'll have Pony create mine. She always makes some really beautiful looking women. I'll take one. I want a fun avatar.
All she'd have to do is just do you. Good Lord. All right, guys. The first song is Spineshank, New Disease, and of course, that's the one that didn't get downloaded all the way. Of course.
Oh, well,
Of course.
well. So that means I have time to chit-chat with you guys.
Yeah.
How do you guys like the thumbnails as of late for the channel? One of our kids has been creating them, and I'm pretty sure she's enjoying adding in all the extra drama onto the thumbnails.
There's extra drama in the thumbnail?
Yeah, like this one. Look, it's like, it shows like here, bad. I have horns and a tail. You're good with a halo over your head.
Wait, who's good? Me?
Yeah, you're the good one. I'm the bad one.
I mean, of course.
Sure.
Sure. Of course. I mean, I think anybody that knows, if you know, you know. If you know, you know.
And if you don't know, you don't know.
Well, if you don't know, now you know. You know what I'm saying?
Baby.
You know what I'm saying?
Isn't that a song?
Huh?
And then doesn't he say, baby?
No.
That's a different song?
Yeah.
Baby, baby. It's another one.
If it's big, you just say, baby, baby, and that'll probably be it. That'll be it for you.
All right, you guys. As soon as I can, find my way to you live.
You find your way to the people.
Yeah, I was like I've been uploading so many videos. Whoop. All right. I know. Anthony, that's exactly what I told Vinny. I'm like, yo, he's like, it's fitting today. There's a live stream for me since 2 of the 3 songs you posted today were from my last stream.
It's his day. It's his day,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yep.
For sure.
All right. Looking like the Star Trek generic crew member. The shirt.
You do look like you're Star Trek.
Beam me up, Scotty.
Nah, it's that Janeway. That's Commander Janeway, I think her name was.
That's funny. Like, I feel like I've been buying like such weird shirts, and then all of a sudden I realized, like that other one, I'm like, I look like a coach. Now I look like somebody from Star Trek.
It's Commander Janeway. She had the baddest name too. She had the baddest name in the world. What are you doing? That was Spock, bro.
Doesn't matter. It's still Star Trek.
Star Trek, not Trek.
Star Trek, whatever.
No, it absolutely matters.
Okay,
like Spock is I don't know what Spock is.
It doesn't matter. I've got the right. Most times you guys talk about stuff and I don't have a friggin' clue.
I know. How do you even know about that?
My father watched it.
I'll never understand.
I know the algorithm of my family.
No.
It was just what they wanted to do, they did.
Shut up.
Oh, right.
All right.
Moving right along.
Vulcan. That's right. See, live long and prosper. Shout out to all the Vulcans in the world, and shout out to all the.
This one's so easy, and this one is so difficult. And I'm right-handed too. That should be the easy hand, right?
Why?
Well, it's your right hand. It seems like it should be easier to do what you want.
I don't know about that.
Like the left, it's like, oh. But you know what? Actually, true story. I was left-handed when I was a child, and my mother kept forcing my pen to the right hand. So no wonder the left is so easy.
That's why you're so traumatized.
I am. That's where my trauma began. Why must I? Why must I write with my right hand instead of my left, Mother? Why? Because we don't want you to have pen on your hand if you write with your left.
Did you ask her that? Like, hey, what's the deal? Why do I have to do that?
No, I just remember being in school and practicing with my left and just being like, I didn't know she had done that. But I was like, I don't know, I just feel something when I do with my left. But it was crappy handwriting, so my right was crappy enough, so I couldn't.
Back in the day, that'd get you.
That's child abuse.
That would have got you right to the stake, my guy.
What, if you were left-handed?
You being all beautiful and left-handed?
That's true.
You would have been finished.
She's a witch.
Guys, here we go.
All right.
Song number 1, Spineshank, New Disease.
Boom, boom, boom.
DJ Tony
Anthony,
the Lone Rider. Let's go.
The Lone Rider. The freaking Lone Rider. What happened?
That was the shortest song in the world. Let's try this again. Just as I was about to vibe to that joint.
Well, you know what? The name of the song is New Disease. So. Babe.
Okay, so that copy must not be a very good copy. At least the one that I got. Stand by.
Get out and say.
More
That's
technical
crazy because
difficulties.
it's
Holy
like
smokes.
literally right when the lyrics are starting.
I know, like right as his shit is about to get.
Yeah, right as I'm about to make a decision. Because I usually make a decision within the first 10 seconds about a song.
Do you really?
Yeah, it's pretty fast. There's now that
You're
I just
horrible.
I got rid of Apple Music on my phone like a long time ago because I didn't want to pay the $10 a month. And then I decided I'm so sick of YouTube ads that I was like, I'm either going to buy the thing so I don't have ads on YouTube or I'm going to go back to Apple Music. And I decided to go with Apple Music. And there's so many options in there for music to like discover and listen to.
You don't
that
say.
I'm literally feeling lost. I'm like, I don't even know where to start. So anyway, I click on a song and like it's got 10 seconds to please me. Otherwise, I skip to the next. Go to the back. Back to the back.
Serve me, human.
Yeah. I figured out the best way to like explore all these types of music.
Well, there's these things called like reaction channels. People like listen to stuff. And, you know what I'm saying?
Weird.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No.
All right, guys.
You got it?
Here we go. Let's try again.
I'm turning that up.
Realize that I'm nothing I wanted to be. I can never change anything I've done because it's the only thing I have left. Blame myself again for what I didn't do. Never even knew it was coming from me. It changed the way I feel. The worst is yet to come because I have gone too far now. Nobody changed my mind, and it leads me to a new disease. Somebody let it die, but it still becomes a new disease. Is this all worth what this has done to me? Watered down my senses and turned them on me. Fuck morality and everything I know. If I didn't hate it, then I couldn't go. Impersonate myself for what I used to be. Denial is all that's left now. Nobody changed my mind, and it leads me to a new disease. Somebody let it die, but it still becomes a new disease. Nobody changed my mind, and it leads me to a new disease. Somebody let it die, but it still becomes a new disease. Breathing in my head, I'm suffering instead. I can't remember why this meant so much to me. Did I ever want this? It's all I could have been. It's all I would have been now. Did I ever want this? It's all I've ever been. It's all I'll ever be. Breathing in my head, I'm suffering instead. I can't remember why this meant so much to me. Nobody changed my mind, and it leads me to a new disease. Somebody let
song one seems to enjoy
Spineshank, new disease. All you losers out there.
What?
I just think it's funny.
Losers out there?
Yeah, I just think it's funny to say stuff like that. Okay. Anyway. Okay, so that's our first song in our DJ stream tonight.
Yes, sir, Bob. Yes, sir, Robert.
I really liked the part when it was repeating nobody.
I knew you would. I was like,
how did you know?
Because you like that shit. You like the simple.
Stop with your rudeness.
How's it rude? How's that rude? You like the simple stuff. You don't like all the, I knew you were gonna catch feelings off that. I should never say that. What's up, BC? Good to see you.
Vin says the weirdest things. Like sometimes he'll be like, "You're just ignorant." And I'm like, he means that in the very, like, the definition of the word lacking knowledge. Most people hear the word ignorant, they're very insulted by it.
Everybody's
Probably
ignorant.
You mean something different when you say simple.
Something.
I think you're like, what, you think you have a simpleton wife?
Anyway. Everybody's ignorant about something, man.
I know.
There's no way you can win here.
Now I can take this, everything I know, realize that I'm nothing I wanted to be.
Are on the screen there.
Yeah, I know what. Your computer's turned.
That's
and if I straighten it, something's going to unplug. Something's going to go wrong.
That's right, because we have to have everything
there,
perfect.
See? Look at Tasco. Why you call Sori a simpleton?
Oh, I mean, you knew where you were going with that. Go ahead.
Okay. Now I can take this, everything I know, realize that I'm nothing I wanted to be. Ooh, I can never change anything I've done because it's the only thing I have left. Blame yourself again for what I didn't do. Never even knew it was coming home for me. It was coming from me.
It changed the way I felt. The worst is yet to come because I've gone too far now. Oh, maybe he's talking about his parents. Blame yourself again for what I didn't do. It sounds like he's blame. It sounds like his parents. It sounds like his parents look at him as some sort of failure.
It could be.
And that's sort of like, oh, it's our fault that you're a failure is a pretty hurtful thing to a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Like, that whole thing about disappointing your parents.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a hard thing to deal with. And it's one of those things where I don't really know exactly how that feels because I didn't get to grow up with my dad. I think if I would have grown up with my dad, I would probably have a pretty big phobia of disappointing my parents. Probably. Because remember that time you got on the phone with my dad? It's like, this cousin's a lawyer, this cousin's a world-renowned artist, this cousin's a this cousin's a that.
Yeah.
I barely graduated high school. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
Like,
yeah.
And it's not like I can brag. It's not going to say, hey, Pops, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't brag about any of that.
Plus, I feel like that your dad, I don't know him obviously very well, but he seems like somebody you don't want to, like, disappoint. Like, he's very, he's nice. He feels kind of solid with the way that
Dorian.
he, and, like when I called him when we weren't going to get to go and I was waiting for you to call him and tell him we weren't going to be going because of everything that went on. We were supposed to be taking a trip to Florida, got canceled because of COVID, because of somebody's bullshit behavior. But anyway, we're not going to go there again. But anyway, I answered the phone when he called and he was like, so are you guys coming or not? Well, you had already said not to say anything because you were going to talk to him. And so I was like stuck in this situation where I had
say hello?
Yeah.
Or was that the first thing?
No. He was very nice about it. He was very nice. And I just wanted to say, we can't come because of COVID. But I was like, well, Vinny said he's going to call you later. And then he was like, okay. So he kept trying to find out what was going on. And I was still trying to do what you wanted me to. But I felt like I was in a seesaw.
Yeah.
So I could see how, like, if you grew up with your dad, like, he seemed very nice. Like, I don't know.
But, well, my mom wasn't very connected to her extended family.
Right.
And, like, to this day, I don't really know the story. Like, it's kind of like a weird situation because it's like there's so many things that we just grew up, like, taking as whatever. And now I'm like, oh, well, that's kind of weird. Like, she never grew up with her brother. She kind of got adopted by this other family. And
yeah,
it's just weird. But,
yeah.
And then, like, when they all got together, like, she didn't look like them. Like, it was weird. But they're like, they still say that they're brother and sister. I'm weird.
Sure your dad knows.
Yeah, I don't know. When I finally get to talk to him, inshallah, hopefully he can give me some insight into that. But like everybody's a lawyer or a doctor, like not a paralegal. They got to be a lawyer.
Listing off all these people, and they're all like these very high positions.
Yeah, they're all doing something crazy, man. And like, and it's not like I can say, well, you know, Dad, you know, here, I can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, but.
Oh, well, you may soon.
What do you mean?
Ooh, you're an entrepreneur, and.
Right. Yeah, I can talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, that takes off. That's what I could talk about.
Yeah, that's something about. But yeah, you know, and of course my older brother, he's part of an organization where they tell everybody what they do.
Right.
They wear that shit on their jacket.
Right.
Guys.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
I see what you're. Yeah.
But at the same time, like my older brother's always been like, you know. He's always been like that. He's always been like, this is my son, you know, whatever. Like, I remember, like, one of the few memories I have of Jamaica was my brother was in a track meet.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think he won, like, some, you know, whatever. And I just remember my dad, it's my boy. And, of course, I was the same way because I was like, yo, it's my bro. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But now I can take this, everything I know, realize I'm nothing I want it to be. So it just looks like he's coming of age and he's realizing, like, he's not what he wanted, which is kind of a weird thing. I was watching an interview, and it's this guy. It's a YouTube channel called Soft Underbelly.
Okay.
And I almost feel, I mean, it doesn't matter now because I'm sure people are going to look at it. It's the guy's in Skid Row, and Skid Row is where a bunch of homeless people, losers are. You know, prostitutes, drug dealers, pimps, like gangbangers. Like it's a very hard place. A lot of people, like, they go there and they're trying to do something and they end up on the street and they end up in Skid Row, and it's just a very like you know, hard way to live. And
what state is that?
I don't know where Skid Row. I think it's in Cali. It might be in Cali. It might be in New York. I'm not sure.
Okay,
but I'm pretty sure it's in Cali. But
hey, isn't there a band, Skid Row?
Yeah, there's a band, Skid Row.
Yeah.
So,
Los Angeles,
Wikipedia.
Los Angeles, California.
Yeah, like L.A. It's in California. So it's like, go there to like try to make it big, you know, hey, we're going to L.A.
Yeah.
and then you know, they don't make it big.
And then they land over there.
Unplugged my.
Well, that's what I thought, but then I didn't
the
see
power supply. See that? There you go. But anyway. Drugs and prostitution, and so the guy's like, you know, what did you want to be when you grow up or whatever, and like, you know, he's looking at these sex workers or these, you know, drug addicted people, and it's horrible because like some of these people die. Like, you're watching this video and then it's like so and so's autopsy and all this other shit. It's like, but it's it's not glorifying it. Like, he's trying to help these people, but it's just a horrible way
David
to
Powers
live.
said, we delivered a bunch of water and hand sanitizer, etc. there a year and a half ago.
I knew it. Yeah, he's that dude, man. He was always.
Hey, Captain Pants.
Remember I told you about Nanan and all them? Mm-hmm. Like that crew? That was him. That's my guy.
Yeah.
That's been my guy from way back. But it's like, what did you want to be when you grow up? And you like see like when you were a kid, like. What it's very rare that what you wanted to be when you were a kid, you get to accomplish it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's kind of like a sad part of growing up where like people just tell you like, look, you got to accept reality. You know, you're not going to be XYZ thing. And I go back and forth on it because I'm like, yeah, but you know, on the one hand, it's sad. But on the other hand, it's like, well, if you were in Calcutta, India as a kid, you don't even get to even fantasize about being an astronaut and all the rest of it, to even have that kind of a dream, for the dream to even die in the first place. Wow, that's
interesting. I never thought of that. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I always go back and forth between being like, should I feel sorry for this person? But look at the state of the world and all the rest of it. Go ahead. What were you saying?
No, I'm listening to what you're saying. Like, I never really thought of that. I literally have never thought, oh, there's people in other places. I guess I just assumed that they also had dreams, but wow, that's so interesting. No, carry on. I literally don't have anything to say to that because I never even thought that there was people that would be in that situation, but that makes complete sense. I guess I assume that people would have dreams regardless because everybody has dreams. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not sure that everybody does. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not
Yeah,
sure
it's
that,
not very realistic for some
you know,
people.
like
Yeah.
if you're in some really low caste in India, you know what I'm saying? Like, the dreams that you're gonna have are different. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
maybe-
it's like societies. They had, like, they talked about if you were at war all the time, then those societies are not going to create things like games and different stuff. But societies that are able to have peace are able to, like, discover doing different things and stuff like that. So if you're in a lot of turmoil or you're living in a particularly hard living condition, then you're not going to have big astronaut dreams. Your dream is to get food on the table and make sure your family stays safe or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that makes complete sense.
Yeah, and then I think to myself, like, this metaverse thing, it's like there's so much potential, you know, like in the next. Oh, what's good, Amy? How's your eye? It's been bugging me for like the last 48 hours. Tell me how your eye is, you dumb butt. But like, I think about the metaverse, and I'm like, I was watching this interview with Keanu Reeves. You know, he just did the recent Matrix movie or whatever. And he was talking about how he was hanging out with one of his friends. And this little girl didn't know who he was. Or what the Matrix was or whatever. And so the guy's like, explain it to her. And he was like, well, it's this virtual world. But there's a real world outside the virtual world. And so your job is to get everybody out of the... And the girl goes, well, why would you do that? The girl didn't care that the virtual world wasn't, quote, real. And her question was, why would you
take
do
them
that?
out of that world?
And I'm like, it's a very straight... And Keanu...
Well,
like,
we're obsessed with a certain version of freedom. Go ahead.
Well, it was almost like he didn't have an answer for her, almost.
Yeah.
And of course, there's Cypher, who makes the decision to go back to the Matrix. And when he goes back to the Matrix, like, he's got to deal with the agents. It's like what kind of life he's going to live and all the rest of it. And there's a lot of people that are freaking out about the metaverse. And I'm like, I feel like in the metaverse, people would be able to live out some of those dreams.
Oh, absolutely.
In a way that...
Well, I mean, people already do in some ways, you know,
What do you mean?
through like video games and stuff like that. Like, people are able to do and try out different things that they wouldn't normally have the opportunity. That's, you know, like that. Remember that game that got really famous where you would like steal the car and...
Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you could drive like very expensive cars and stuff like that. Like, obviously, like some people, that's as close as they're ever going to get. Driving one of those cars.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I just think that the metaverse is something completely different from that because of how immersive it is. Like, because when you're
Well, yeah, I
doing
mean,
Grand
every
Theft
stage
Auto,
is obviously going to be
you're outside and you know that you're outside, whereas in the metaverse you're inside the game. You're in the thing.
Yeah, but you know what? Haven't you seen people play video games where they're like friggin' gone? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we didn't have the metaverse at that point, so you had what you had. So
That's what I'm saying. Like but
it's going to get more advanced, obviously. But
yeah, but it's to me, it's a completely different species. To me, it's like reading a picture book versus watching a movie. Like, yeah, the things are the same. You're on the outside observer and you're looking at pictures, but watching a movie and looking at a picture book are not the same thing.
Right.
And that to me is the leap between the metaverse and video games. It's going to be so immersive and the technology is going to be so crazy that people are going to be able to do all these things. And then I think to myself, man, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't know what that means. I don't know what the implications are. But I do think, like, it's a weird thing to me where, like, because there's no real algorithm to who gets famous on social media and who doesn't. There really isn't. There are people that, like, work very hard on editing their YouTube videos and all that and don't come close to where we are. And there are other people that do, like, 5-minute reactions and have 5 times the amount of subscribers. Like, there's no rhyme or reason to it. Like, I remember
Which
when
is
we
obvious because
first-
there's so many people trying to get viral videos.
Yeah.
And they're doing all kinds of craziness thinking, oh, this will break the algorithm, and it doesn't.
when we first got on YouTube, there was some sort of adpocalypse and all the rest of it, and people were saying, oh, it's dead, and small creators, if you're a small creator, YouTube's over for you, because they were small creators and YouTube was over for them. And, you know, then there was this thing where you had to have like 5,000 subs or whatever, and you had to have 10,000 watch hours, and we had no idea that that's extremely difficult to do. Because, you know,
I thought it was 1,000.
it was no, you think you're right. It was 1,000. But we just strolled in there and just, you know, whatever. And then I would watch these videos because I was doing research on how to do this thing. Because once we decided, like, oh, we'll shoot consistently, you know, I had to do the research. And I was looking at all these small creators, and they were like, I put so much time and effort into each video. And they were doing like 1 video a week or something like that. And I'm like, damn, like, wow, this is really difficult. But it wasn't for us. Like, I remember I looked at the thing, we had 400 subscribers in a day or something like that, and I was like, what the hell?
That was so crazy.
I was like, what is going on? And like, so what I'm saying is, you could presumably be some bummy kid in a 1-bedroom apartment, barely keeping the lights on, but in the metaverse, you could be a massive rock star.
Right.
And you could have 400 fans because you came up with some thing on, you know, you digitally create, you know, all these bands that we listen to where they digitally create everything and they're not really playing the instrument. And you could be up there with like a metaverse guitar, rocking, having
That's what I said. I was like,
200,000
something like
fans.
Guitar Hero.
and feeling like, or Guitar Hero like competition.
Yeah.
Where you're playing in front of thousands of people and replicating that. And my point is like, okay, is that person living out a dream and did they make it? And does it still count? Does it count? Because it's not.
That is so interesting.
It's in the metaverse and
Wow.
it's virtual. But then when you take off the headset, you're still in your 1-bedroom apartment. You've got nothing to show for it in the quote real world. And
Well-
then your parents go up to you and say, you're 35 living in this, you know,
Yeah.
apartment with holes and everything. But then the kid's like, yeah, but I made it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know.
it's an interesting question. It's the same as like now, you know, people will say, okay, you know, if you're filling out an application or whatever, they ask you what you do for your job or whatever, and then you know you're like an entrepreneur. Okay, well, what do you guys do? And then like, you say YouTube, and like some people look at you like, that's not.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not taken seriously. It's not like a real job. And so to a lot of people, it doesn't matter how much we would be making at this job. This doesn't qualify as like successful because it's YouTube.
Yeah, but the capital that you can generate has quote unquote real world ramifications. Like, we can do things with it. We can flip the YouTube money and invest it into Amazon money.
Yeah, but some people, maybe there'll be something like that in the virtual realm too, like Bitcoin. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
that's
something
true,
like that.
because
that
the kid, if he's a rock star, maybe he charges $1 a ticket.
Yeah.
And he's got 50,000 people. Some of these kids the guy probably makes $50,000 in a night from his crazy ass apartment. That's and then the question becomes, oh, okay, now you can buy a real house. And he's like, why would I do that?
remember we watched that movie?
I can live
that
in
was
this
like that?
world. I can live in this world, and then I can go spend 50 grand on whatever I want.
Yeah.
And now, shit, I live in my metaverse world. I've got an apartment in the meta, and people are talking about like buying like real estate, and I don't understand how that works. Like, I wish I had the time. We're spending so much time trying to launch this other business that I don't have the time to really focus on that. But I feel like we're missing out on something.
Oh, I'm sure
like
we are, because this is like just a small example, but Sayla likes to play this game, Bloxburg. And in there, like the houses will disappear and reappear depending on who's playing. So she has her house. When she goes in, her house appears in that world, and then there's all kinds of other houses that are around. Well, sometimes we go in and there are these ginormous houses, glass windows, big pianos, a pool, all kind in Bloxburg. And the only way that you can get that is by that I know of, is to pay a bunch of money to buy that. Somebody creates it within that world and they sell it to you. And so, if you don't know like if you don't know programming and stuff, and like let's say you can't program to create yourself a nice house, just like people can't build a house, they have to hire somebody to build a house for them. I think it's the same thing in there. And so you buy that real estate, and then all of a sudden if these virtual worlds get populated, then you're going to be able to sell those houses. But it is crazy to think about, because it's like, I remember when like Heyday first came out and looking on there and being like, what? People are actually spending actual money to play this game, to win, to like, you know, to harvest these fields and stuff like this. Like, why are you spending your actual money in a game? But people do it all the time, and I think it's becoming more and more people are getting more and more acclimated to it. And then we saw that movie about that guy and the girl, and they met inside that fake world, but they were like in these shoddy little shacks, and it was, the world is getting overrun. I can't remember the name of it. The world is getting overrun, and they had to like save everything before everything exploded. You know, the typical story. But like, they had nothing, but in those worlds they were like, well, you know, yeah, because they were smart people, and so in those worlds they were able to, it was just about your mind, it wasn't about what you looked like, because you could create.
But then it's like, but see, that's the thing about the metaverse. It's like, when what you just said, it's about your mind, it's not what you look like. And it's like, okay, so in the real world, I think one of the things that is responsible for our growth as a channel initially was the fact that you're a very attractive woman. Thank you. Right? I really
I think between that and your mind, right? It's what really.
So then the question becomes, what people become famous for now? How real is that? Like, that's a question. Like, how real is the quote unquote real world in the first place? You've got, you know, all these media companies that are, like, for example, like this whole Joe Rogan thing. People think Joe Rogan is like some maverick or whatever. It's like, Joe Rogan works for Spotify, who's owned by Google. It's the same group that owns YouTube owns Spotify.
Yep.
So, like, YouTube's like, oh, we're taking this down, and then Spotify's like, oh, we're the real free speech people. We're keeping it. It's like Google owns both of them. So, like, how real is any of this shit? And then, like, you know, obviously, I've had experiences where I'm like, yo, millions of people believe X, and I know for a fact that Y happened. Holy shit. So it just like really screws with you. And part of me is like, I don't know, man. I think maybe the metaverse, people living in the metaverse, maybe it's one of those things where, if you've got the mind to create something that people like, and you can manifest that in a virtual world and then give people that experience, then that in itself is a real talent. And so, I'm like, most of the stuff that I'm looking at the metaverse, people are like, this is terrible. This is, you know, this is going to end the world. And I'm like, I mean, I don't know how terrible it is, because I know how terrible, quote, this world is. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, like, let's say these rappers who have beef with each other could kill each other in the metaverse and still live out here. Like, I'm good with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, take out your... Like, there's so many good possibilities of it.
Like, bankrupt them. But the thing is, I used to think of this when I was a kid. I'm like, why do we fight wars? Why don't we just play chess? And if you lose, you lose. But people revert to violence. That's what they do. So even if you killed somebody in the meta world, that probably wouldn't be enough.
Yeah, but that's because we go to war, ultimately, I don't care what people want to put on it, for resources. And because there is a finite...
An ego.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at the history of human beings, the main impetus for war has always been resources.
Yeah. But individual fights, a lot of it's ego.
Yeah, but I'm talking about war. I don't care about, you know, like individual
skirmishes. Well, you brought up the guys from Chicago, or rappers or whatever. Yeah. And I'm saying, if they kill you in the metaverse, that might not be enough.
Yeah, what I'm talking about is on the meta level. If we're killing each other over resources, if that's been the human story, there are limitless resources in a metaverse. It's not like you're gonna run out of you're gonna eventually run out of square footage on the planet. Yeah. But you'll never be able to run out, because the metaverse is all about mentation. So you can never run out of resources. It might end war as we know it. And it might be the key to, you know, my post-millennialist understanding of whatever.
Wouldn't that be crazy?
So, like, I'm I think a lot of evil could be done with the metaverse, but I'm like, how much more evil could it be to actual flesh and blood human beings than what we've experienced in the last 500 years, or any epic in human history? Mm-hmm. But anyway, I do think that look, if you're a person who's like society looks on as a loser, you didn't, and that's the other thing is like, how do we judge who's a loser and who's a winner in society? The person who's able to accumulate the most resources? Is it a person who's able to have a house? We're having this discussion with one of these silly people like, how do you determine that? Who determines that?
Yeah.
And I think, like, metaverse or not, you just have to, like, if you're disappointed in yourself, you got to ask yourself, are you truly disappointed in yourself, or are you disappointed in not being able to attain to a societal structure that's imposed on you, or a parental structure that's imposed on you? Is you being a loser what you really, really feel about yourself, or is that a reaction to something else?
Yeah.
Because I think that those are two different things. Mm-hmm. So that's how I think about it. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I guess. I think sometimes that the people, like, sometimes I think about how much of a person's personality is real, because there's so many facets to our own personalities. So it's like, some people are very good at putting forth what people want to hear. And so those people are well liked and well accepted. But are they well liked and well accepted because they're really not accepted for who they are? They're projecting what people want.
Right.
And then maybe the losers are the people that are actually, maybe they're more real because they're putting forth their real self, while their real self isn't accepted because they're not so good at putting out a false sort of. But then are they well acclimated to be able to really live in this world? But then maybe the metaverse, I see what you're saying. Maybe the metaverse would be a really cool opportunity for a lot of different people because it gives you a leg up on a lot of different things. I don't know. It's the metaverse is a very fascinating thing to think about, and it could obviously, once they get that started, that can really take off. And can you imagine if pretty much everybody, like all those end time movies that we used to watch, like when we got a little older, not the ones when we were kids because that was a little too advanced, but they had a lot of VR in those. Very weird. Very, very, very weird. But anyway.
Yeah. And then, songs like these, people will have to find ways to determine who a loser is in the metaverse. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it just depends on who gets to jump on that. DJ, those weird end time movies that I grew up on that are all
A Distant Thunder, A Thief in the Night.
Yeah. All that nonsense. What do you get the song?
I really liked it, especially when he was doing the nobody part, which I already said at the beginning.
Nobody.
9. Even 9.
I get a solid 9 myself. It had very, very good rhythm structure and all that. We are in the middle of
a DJ stream for the big homie, the Lone Rider.
Yeah, and even before Kirk Cameron, DJ, even before that, you got to Google Distant Thunder. You got to Google Thief in the Night. Nikolai Carpathia is going to show up all types of craziness, man. It was unbelievable. All right, guys. We're coming right back to we're coming right back at you with more metal goodness. What?
Kelby is like, you guys remind me of me and my ex-wife, only there's more love and more respect.
More love and respect.
And now he's like, firstly, for my ex-wife, God, I hate her. So am I just drumming up all that hatred again?
I'm sure you were much prettier than her ex-wife. Okay, guys, we shall return. Commercial. I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sorry says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at instory@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull
You
that off.
can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee,
Can't
a
guarantee
positive
you
review.
A positive review.
Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/VinandSory. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sory and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed.
And a child shall lead them. Oops, that was you again. To buy our merch. We're doing a DJ stream for the big homie, the Lone Rider. The next song up on our list is Sevendust, Blender F. Chino of Deftones. And I think I read that.
Chino?
Yeah, I don't know.
Featuring Chino.
Oh, I see.
Chino Moreno is a...
See, this is what happens when you just copy and paste very fast.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Featuring Chino of Deftones. I see it. Okay.
Bender featuring Chino Moreno.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
All right.
Exactly. So, the Lone Rider said, a cool, dope song I love, and really is a great blend of Chino's voice, Morgan the drummer screaming, and LaJohn's awesome vocals.
This should be interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, let's check them out. Sevendust. I can't believe I never heard this because I went through a big Chino Moreno stage. At
you
one
did?
point.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do it. Sevendust, Bender with Chino Moreno. Let's go.
Step on my disease so like the
I don't
That's an interesting ending. We had the official video playing over here on the side, so we were able to see them in the studio doing that and then driving in the car together. It was a cute video. Probably cute's not the word people wanted for that. But it reminded me of, like, because it was dated back so far, it reminded me of driving that type of car, like the dated dashboards, driving around. And there was, like, woods. They were driving, like, on this older road, which just kind of reminded me of my time with my friends. By the time I got my license, that's when kind of freedom started striking a little bit for me.
He rode a white horse in the official video? Did you see him riding a white horse?
I saw them on horses, yes. But I looked back at the lyrics, so I might have missed a white horse.
Okay, so the name of the song is Bender.
Yeah, I thought he was, because he said so winded, I thought he was saying surrender.
No.
Because I wasn't watching lyrics, I was watching the video, and I really liked it being surrender. I'm a little disappointed that it's so winded. So let's get into the lyrics so I can see what it's about.
Well, a bender is like a big drug party. It's like where you just do drugs all night, basically.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You know,
he talks about his teeth being numb, which is a
I've heard of
consequence
people's face being
ingesting
numb.
a lot of cocaine.
Your teeth being numb?
Yeah, you know how like
I can't feel my
he's
teeth
talking
anyway.
about, like tasting the numb of his teeth. So
Oh God.
it sounds like I
have a
big
medical
giant
background.
cocaine bitch. Go ahead.
So like some stuff to me is just like over the top friggin' crazy. And like I talked to this one girl, well, maybe she was lying. I don't know. She said she went to this party where everybody just brought prescription meds and they threw it into a fucking bowl. And then you would just take a little thing, scoop it out, and just take it. I'm like, what the fuck? So many people could die in that situation. You don't even know what the fuck you're taking.
I mean, to be fair, I didn't know what a bender was either. I Googled it and I put the thing up on the thing. So
So at these bender parties, what do they do?
Yeah, they just
It's
do
like
a
the
bunch
same
of drugs and don't sleep or eat. They just do drugs together all night. I went to parties and raves and stuff in the hood, but that shit never happened. Like, you know,
See, Sadie said they used to do that all the time. The pill
Hey,
parties.
Vlad in the house. People were doing drugs and stuff at the, you know, like the worst I saw. There was cocaine. There was shout out to Ralph.
I've never been around any of that stuff.
He tried the exit, but nobody was doing it like all night. Like, that's crazy. Like, some of it is probably economic. We didn't.
Yeah.
I assume, especially
How you
cocaine. I assume that that's something that like rock stars do because they've got the capital to afford all that cocaine all night. Because cocaine is pretty expensive. You know, like those cocaine cowboy people that we've been listening to with Vlad and everything. Like they're making like billions of dollars. Like, and how they were talking about they didn't look down on the cokeheads because they were all rich. You know what I'm saying? So. Yeah, like it just seems to me that but that song, I'm actually.
Do I have the right lyrics here? Wait, contain me alone, only to I spit.
Well, I have the lyrics right there on the screen again, once again, but you know.
Like I said, I don't want to.
So winded, I've fallen down again, and then he says later, I follow the Walking Dead.
Oh God.
Step on my disease, so nice to see me bleed. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's
Oh wow! Now that you found out somewhat about me, I wonder how long will it be before you leave.
Yeah, maybe it's like they're all getting together and they don't know what to do with their money, so they're all going to have they're going to a bender, and then they maybe you're seeing people at their worst. You know what I'm saying? Like. Because they're all coked up all night. They're not sleeping. They're not eating. So, they're just all high out of their minds. And it's like you've seen the person at their... Maybe people are going to be offended. But their worst, you know. You're not at your best in that altered state of consciousness for that long. Like, not sleeping for a while will make you hallucinate. I mean, I know that for a fact. And I'm not even talking about, like, general insomnia. Like, I was in situations where, like, purposely, they didn't let you sleep for 3 years. You start hallucinating shit. Like you start, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so not sleeping, not eating, and you're
Would
just
you
ingesting
hallucinate your
all of
fears?
these. Huh?
Or do you just hallucinate
No,
random
you don't.
shit?
I didn't hallucinate my fears or anything like that.
Look at the way you say that. Like this is a crazy stuff. I mean, you've seen that before where people say those things, right?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
I've been probably watching too many shows. You know, like where people hallucinate and then it's like the things that are scary to them is what all of a sudden they're seeing.
Nah.
What do you-
just seeing things that aren't there, or like
A raccoon? I mean, like, what do you mean? Like random shit? Like, oh, there's a lizard? I mean, what are we talking about? Like a mirage? There's a pool of water? What are we seeing here?
a lot of it
People?
was just like, for me personally, it was just stuff in the room that wasn't there, like when I was in a different room, basically. Like my mind couldn't process that I was in a different room.
Oh my God.
I can't, but like,
Yeah.
But anyway, it wasn't like anything like, it wasn't anything Hollywood or anything like that. Like,
Okay.
but I mean, again, like he's saying, I'm so winded, I've fallen down again. I follow The Walking Dead. Shout out to Zombieholic in the house.
That's kind of creepy. Like, I would not be a fan. Oh no. What happened?
Yeah, Zombie, I'll definitely be praying for your friend. I'm very, very sorry to hear that. That's a fucking gut punch.
Sorry about that. Oh.
You should always be in good headspaces if you're gonna trip. Yeah, like I think there's a difference between like, taking DMT at these shamanic retreats or whatever, versus like, hey, we're gonna put a mountain of cocaine on the table, and we're just gonna like dive into this mountain of cocaine for all night. And we're going to just, like, that shit is crazy to me. Like, I can't imagine doing it. But, again, like, when you're young and you feel like you're invincible and all that, and,
I think Dare really, like, did what it was supposed to do for me. Because that, to me, is a terrifying thought. Like, just, like, a pile that you don't know how much you're taking. Like, what if you overdo it and you land dead? Like, I can't even process. To me, that's not fun. I can't even...
I'm pretty sure... I don't know if you can OD from cocaine. You probably can. But I think for the most part, like, in a controlled environment, a lot of these people were okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, it must have been, like, this big thrilling thing for them or whatever. Like...
Well, yeah, I mean, I can see that.
It must have been... And the other thing is, like, cocaine's an upper, right? So you can, like... you have all this energy, but you're sleep deprived. It must be like a really crazy, contradictory kind of thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah,
Sadie says you can
absolutely OD on coke. So, shit, man.
But, and look, there's Middle Earth saying the same thing. You can. Don't do anything crazy based on... We're not professionals in this field.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've never done coke in my life, so I mean, don't take it from me. I don't know, but. So it's like, slow it down. I'm so winded. I've fallen down again. I follow The Walking Dead. And it makes you sick. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Like, it must make you, like, it's one of those things where maybe you resent the people that you're around. Like, after you come down and you see, like, all the carnage and wreckage.
Oh.
That's why he's saying, like, so nice to see me bleed. And at the end of the song, he says, stupid fuck. You know what I'm saying? And spit, like, maybe at the end of it, he's like, man, this, you can't feel really good about yourself after all. Especially, like, you're doing all types of crazy shit with all these people.
Yeah.
And all your inhibitions are done. I don't know what happens with coke. Does coke lower your inhibitions?
I have no clue.
All I know is that
I have no clue what happens.
Sadie says she hates the way coke makes her feel. So, it looks like, shout out to Blair, it seems like it's like a party drug, like people will party or whatever, but like, it seems like the come down is pretty terrible. Like, there's this thing called Khat, Khat, and it's pretty popular among Somalis or whatever, and like, when you're in the throes of it, like you feel like a super soldier, like you're not scared of anything or anyone or whatever, but the come down is so, it's like bad, really, really bad. Like I was sitting to a guy and I was we were having a discussion and he was talking about it, and he was talking about, like, he's like, these people aren't really brave, brother. He's like, they're not really brave. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, they're not brave. They're just
Hopped up on.
they're just fucked up on cot. That's all. But when they come down, like they want to jump off a bridge, kill themselves, all types of craziness. So,
Oh boy.
so I don't know. I think it's probably like it's a song of like that when you're young and you're coming into a lot of money and you're getting these parties and you're having this giant bender, but then at the end of it, you're like, oh, this sucks. And you've seen me at my worst. I've seen you at your worst. And maybe there's like this mutual disgust with each other. Because at the end of it, it says spit, which
Yeah.
is sort of like this disgusting. Maybe you spit a lot when you're on coke. I don't know. But like, maybe they don't like each other afterwards. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't.
Yeah.
You don't like being in a situation where you've kind of lost your inhibitions to the point where the person seeing you at your worst, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder, like, you know how there's certain things that you can do that make you feel good, and then there are certain things that you do that make you feel bad. And there are bad things. Okay, I probably have to define those words more. Okay, so there's certain things that you can do that might feel good, like maybe your body feels good or it feels good in the moment, but then later you feel like internally like shit over that.
Yeah.
And like maybe it's one of those things like I'm going to default to these words because I feel them more about the topic, but there are certain things that make you feel cleansed and certain things that just make you feel dirty. And, you know, like on a practical level, like every time we go to the sauna, I always feel cleansed after being in the sauna for the 30 minutes. It's extremely difficult. Don't do that unless you talk to your doctor first. But after we get out of the, you know, the sauna and we're for 30 minutes, like I feel good about it. I feel good about the decision. I feel good about, you know, forcing myself to stay when I really want to get out of there and make myself comfortable at the sweating, all of that stuff. It's just like a really good experience. And then, you know, like I think that there are certain things that I've been a part of throughout my life that I'm like for instance, the college that I went to, I don't feel good about that. That college never made me feel good.
Your Christian college?
Yeah, it made me feel good in the sense of like pious, like I was above, because we were towing such a rigid line that a lot of people couldn't tow that line because it was so fucking rigid. But because I grew up that way, it was easier to do. But I didn't feel good about it, like just internally like good. But then there were other things that I've done, like, you know, helping certain people in certain situations, or, you know, and this, you know, sometimes like you're in a situation like where you've put, I like to be clean. I don't like anything dirty. Like anything dirty. Like I used to bring hand sanitizer in my purse to church, and the second the pastor asked everybody to shake hands, I was already like, ugh. I started thinking maybe I should put the hand sanitizer on before. So when I touch their hand, it's the wet with the sanitizer, and that's get, you know, like it was very much. But then I kind of hit a point where, you know, there are people that are in a lot of trouble and they've been suffering for so long. And some of these people have been on very hard drugs or are currently still on the hard drugs. And people haven't, I noticed that touch is a very important thing because a lot of people don't get that. They don't get just a genuine hug from somebody else that's not requiring anything of them. You're just trying to give them a hug because you care about them. And that is something that's very, very lost in a lot of situations. And that's because people take advantage of other people and, you know, whatever. But I just got distracted by, sorry, I got the F-bombs tonight. So the clean sort of dirty thing, and I think that if you have a night where you're doing this, you're just partying the entire time. Like I don't think that the morning rolls around or the sobering rolls around and you feel internally good, like I did something good. Like I think that it has to feel like that sort of grimy, heavy sortedness that, you know, that goes in. And maybe that's why people kind of, because the high itself probably feels good.
Yeah, that's what it says. Now that you found out somewhat about me, I wonder how long it'll be before you leave.
Yeah.
That's an interesting line because he says somewhat. Because, you know, people say that, you know, if you take a drug like alcohol or whatever, that removes your inhibitions, that shows who you really are. Mm-hmm. And, like, I'm not sure that that's completely true.
I'm not sure it is
because
either.
people are so multi-layered. So
right.
It's like, no, it removes some inhibitions, and the snapshot that you're seeing is part of who they are, but that's not the complete.
Yeah.
You can't essentialize somebody based on that.
Yeah.
So he's saying, now that you've found somewhat about me, so you've seen me in this sort of, altered state of consciousness, and yeah, that's me, but that's not all of who I am. Mm-hmm. Now you're going to want to leave or whatever. And that's also an interesting take, because a lot of people feel that way, that if their significant other or their friends saw them for who they really were, then their friends wouldn't be their friends anymore. Mm-hmm. Which is where the doctrine of original sin becomes very helpful.
It does.
Because I don't feel that way. I think one of the benefits, there are drawbacks, but one of the benefits of being around each other 24 hours a day is that, you can't really, I don't really need a Coke binge or vice versa to see, the bad parts of a person.
Stop, Vin. Stop.
But that's love, right? That's what love is about. It's about being able to say, I saw that. That's you. That's inside of you. And I accept you. I love you regardless.
Yeah, you have a way of and I'm not blaming you, but you do have a way of pushing people to the point of who they really are.
It's true.
Must come out.
It's true.
And sometimes I'm why must he push me to this point where, you know what I mean? When there's something that really grates on you that, again, I've never been in a relationship where we spent this much time together. We live together, we sleep together, we work out together, we do everything together. So, and I'm sure that I push you to that level too. And sometimes I think to myself, Vin really loves me. He really, really does. Because I start thinking about there's some stuff that you do that's just that's just a generally annoying thing to do. And then there are some things about your person that's that part of yourself is so crippled and needs so much work that, you know what I mean? There are certain areas of my person and my personality that I wish I could strip from your memory, but I can't.
Yeah.
And, there's I just...
And vice versa. But, but we accept each other.
That's love.
And I think the assumption that you're a fuck up and I'm a fuck up, I think that pre-assumption helps.
It does help. I can't always grasp it because I'm obsessed with perfection. But when I do grasp it in the times that I do, it just really does put things at a different place. And I've said this before because ever since I heard the guy say it, I really subscribe to it. Instead of getting together with somebody and everybody putting their best on the table, you just get together and you say, look, you're a fuck up and I'm a fuck up. So
right.
Where are you? Where is it?
Right.
So perhaps you suffer in areas I'm strong and I suffer in areas where you're strong and we can help each other.
Complement each other. So
but
a lot of times people
it's
feel
like
they
I
gotta
said
hide it.
with my psychologist, where the guilty person always wants to get found out. Mm-hmm. So it's I have this negative side of me that I know that I'm never going to be able to completely hide from you. So if we're going to be in a long-term relationship, whether it's a relationship or friendship, you're going to see it. So let's go to this bender party, and then I'll be in a situation where I won't be able to help but show this negative side of myself. And then I'm going to say, now that you've seen that, you want to leave? Instead of saying, no, we all suck as humanity, so I'm just going to lay it out on the table right now, and we're going to both assume that there's something deeply wrong with us.
Yeah.
And we're going to accept that about each other at the beginning. Mm-hmm. And I think you don't have to do the Coke bender to get there.
Right.
But I love Chino Moreno's voice. I don't know what the hell he's talking about 98% of the time, but I love this song. And I remember this song.
And I liked the drumming. I think you were right on that.
I remember this song.
Oh, really?
I bought this album because it had Denial on it. Denial, see that song. And there were 3 songs that I really loved, and that was one of them because of the way that Chino. I'm I heard that song before.
Yeah, his voice. His voice is very.
I love
very
this
good.
song, so I'm gonna rank it very high.
And it's so funny because Anthony was saying he said something about the drummer's voice, but in my mind he just said something about the drummer. So then my mind was focusing on the drumming. I enjoyed the drumming, and I enjoyed the guy's voice. I totally agree with that. I would. I think I'm gonna go with a 9.2.
9.8 for me. I really like
wait, 9.8?
Yep. It's too late. It's too late.
Well, you know what? Well, the reason I put it at 9.2 is because I don't want to encourage people to to go and do all kinds of drugs.
Your Grace. I don't think
9.6. 9.6.
I don't think you're right. I don't think people are gonna go, well, shit, Soraya gave.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Sorry, gave.
Let's stop talking about it because now it's sounding very weird. Like, why would my score influence somebody that bad?
Much influence?
No, I don't. Okay, so let's stop talking about it. It's very awkward. Moving right along. Stop, babe.
Dude, my neck.
I forgot. But sorry.
God
You
Almighty.
have to forgive me. I'm just a sinner.
Vin out.
Sorry, out.
Gone. God Almighty.
Okay, I'm not with this sweater, so you could put the.
You not with the sweater?
No, I'm too warm.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, the commercial's coming. We shall return. I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sorry says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at sorry@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is a community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord,
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
and they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/VinandSorry. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person,
start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sorry and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also at $15 tier and above, actually debut the video. They're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch. I didn't know you were still munching.
Buy merch indeed.
Yes, a child shall lead them. I'm very disappointed in the lighting that you've put because my shirt is actually very bright and happy yellow. That it just looks like pale blah. But I don't know, it looks all right. Okay, anyway, we are in the middle of a DJ stream. A DJ stream is where you get to pick the songs that we're going to listen to.
You the DJ.
And this is our DJ. Whoop. This is Anthony the Lone Rider.
Tony, the freaking Lone Rider.
Yep, let's go. The next song up on his list is Papa Roach, Born with Nothing, Die with Everything.
Whoa.
Very interesting.
I didn't pay attention to that title. Born with Nothing?
When I was uploading it to the list and I saw that, because it was such a long title, I stopped to read the title and then I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Not
Born
what I
with Nothing, Die with Everything, Papa Roach. Let's do it. I love this guitar work, bro. Ah, damn it.
What? Yeah.
Fed up, tired, sick and twisted. Woman, I'm enlisted. Trust yourself, trust no else. Fuck a hero, be yourself. And I don't need your lousy handout. Clench fists or fight my way out. Fighting my way out. Fight my way out. People wake up and sing along. I trust no one. My trust is gone. Born with nothing. Die with everything. Born with nothing. Die with everything. Yeah. In a day since days go by, faster and faster I speed through.
What happened?
What? Ah. What happened?
I don't know. Hey, can you guys still hear that? What was it?
It probably didn't download complete. Stand by! My download machine is killing me today.
I know.
And I was really feeling this freaking song, bro.
Yeah. Well, actually, you know what? It works out because I didn't read the DJ's opening message for us. So the opening musical note always instantly made me like this song whenever it came on, and I think it sounds great. Oh, I'm sorry. Good messages in it.
Yeah, the opening guitar line was
it repeating the same thing, or was that because the copy was messed up?
Well, it was changing a little bit in the...
It sounded like it was exactly the same.
A step lower, I
What's
think.
happening? I was like, oh no, we have another audio issue.
What?
I thought we...
Saying they couldn't hear it either?
Oh, no. I don't know. I'll go back to the
Converter's frustrating me, man.
technical difficulty. What happened? Don't worry, guys. We're coming right back. This is just...
It's par for the course.
I feel like every time that this happens, I actually am not too bummed out about it because I always feel like there's got to be lonely people that are like, yes, this will push the stream out longer.
I doubt that.
Like if I was by myself...
I doubt that. I think they're just coming to hear the music and
yeah,
jam.
but if I was...
To listen to
no, I get messages all the time from people that say they put us on and it helps them feel less lonely.
Yeah, with the music, they're not coming to hear us like just babble.
You're completely wrong. I've literally read their messages.
I'm completely wrong.
You are completely wrong.
Let's try this again. I can timestamp this. 127.
The Lord stopped this simple stream.
Who said that, Amy?
Oh, what do you think? Of course it was Amy.
Who ignores all my texts? I'm like, yo, how's your eye? You have been stressing about her eye, like Amy and her eye.
I know. And Vinny knows all about eyes getting fucked up. Remember your eye used to do that?
Oh, yeah.
Like, it happens so many
does.
times.
Still does.
Yeah, but we figured out the system of how to fix it before it gets too full.
Oh, you just scrape it off?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been my entire life, Your Grace.
Yeah, but you didn't have me there with my fingernail.
All right, let's try this again.
Shout out to Clifton, who just jumped on Patreon.
Shout out to the homie. But the night belongs to the DJ, Tony the Lone Rider. There he is in the metaverse. I don't care what y'all say. Okay, guys, we're going right back to the beginning. Let's do it. I was at work. Oh, an excuse. She was at work, so she didn't respond to my text.
Yeah, babe, people work.
Let's go.
See, Zombieholic, thank you. So that is how it goes.
Fed up, tired, sick and twisted. Woman army, I'm enlisted. Trust yourself, trust no one else. Fuck a hero, be yourself. And I don't need your lousy handout. Clench fists up, fight my way out. Fighting my way out. Fight my way out. People wake up and sing along. I trust no one. My trust is gone. Born with nothing. Die with everything. Born with nothing. twisted. One man army, I'm enlisted. Trust yourself, trust no one else. Fuck a hero, be yourself. And I don't need your lousy handout. Clench fists, I'll fight my way out. I fight my way out. Fight my way out. Born with nothing and die with everything. 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 My soul was starving. I was born with nothing, and I'll die with everything. Yeah. Born with nothing and die with everything. Born with nothing and die with everything. Born with nothing and die with everything. Born with nothing and die with everything.
That was Papa Roach. You know what that reminded me of? The title of this song?
No, do tell.
I'm going to tell you.
I'm waiting.
This line of...
Second Maccabees 12:41 through 46.
No. Who said that?
David Powers.
It's sorrowful, yet always rejoicing, poor, yet making many rich, and yet possessing all things. Born with nothing, die with everything.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What happened?
I want some water.
Oh, here you go.
Thank you.
Sonically, see, okay, this is during the NuMetal era, and he didn't title this NuMetal Night. I did. But I'm not sure that...
Well, he told me it was a NuMetal night.
I'm not sure that Papa Roach was necessarily a new...
That's what Dwayne said. Dwayne said, can this be counted as NuMetal because they were 20 years ago?
Yeah, but all the NuMetal bands were 20 years ago.
That's what I thought, but I still figured I'd say his message.
It's the irony of the term NuMetal 20 years ago. I'm not sure that Papa Roach, though, was necessarily a NuMetal band because they were so guitar-driven, and it wasn't like the down-tune drop stuff.
Yeah.
You know, the dum, dum, dum. Like, they were around during the NuMetal era, but they were kind of different because their guitars were more classical, like metal guitar. Like the main riff that was driving this riff wasn't like a down-tune, low-end riffage. It was, you know, something that you might have heard from Iron Maiden or whatever. So sonically, this song is my favorite so far because that's kind of like my wheelhouse. Like as far as like, you know, when we play, like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Wow, that's so interesting.
But yeah, so they're NuMetal, I guess, you know, because of the era and all that. But they kind of made their own space for themselves, is what I'm saying. What did you think about the sound? Like, did you?
I thought it was all right. That's why I was surprised that this is your favorite, and this one was my least favorite of the ones we listened to tonight. So that was interesting.
Yeah, I think Tony kind of had a similar. To me, Vin, their first 3 albums were NuMetal. I go by feeling, so maybe not technically NuMetal. Yeah, I think I'm right there with you on that, DJ, for tonight, for show. Go ahead. What were you saying?
I'm gonna pull up the lyrics, but yeah, No, you can go. I gotta pull up the lyrics on. Well, are you gonna put the lyrics there?
Yeah, I am, but you know, I know how you get down. So
yeah, I really, you know, it was an okay song for me. It was kind of, and then you know, I gotta see what these lyrics.
I think the song is meant to like empower people and kind of pull yourself up by your bootstraps type of situation.
Okay, well that's good. I do think that's important.
Twisted. One man army. I'm enlisted. Trust yourself. Trust no one else. Fuck a hero. Be yourself.
Oh.
The other thing about this guy is that when he wanted to rap, he really could rap. Mm-hmm. This dude. I think his name is Jacoby something. But this dude could like legitimately rap. And I could tell that because even when he's not trying to rap, he's still rapping here. Like, fed up, tired, sick, and twisted, one man army, I'm enlisted. Mm-hmm. Like, I could tell, like, this dude could rap. So he says, trust Trust yourself, just no one else. I don't need your lousy handout.
Yeah.
Clench fist, I'll find my way out. I'll fight my way out. People wake up and sing along. I trust no one, my trust is gone.
Man,
What's up?
see, well, I feel like that, you know, lyrically, what we're talking about, I think that it's necessary on one side of the coin to be like, okay, you know, be your own hero, like pick yourself up, like don't just keep letting everything just like hit you. We've talked about this before, like there's a certain spot, if you've ever been to the ocean, there's a certain spot that if you're standing in that spot, it's literally just going to keep slapping you. It's the worst spot to be, right where the wave hits you. You either go into it or you get out of it. Like there's just like that middle spot you don't want to be in. And so I think that kind of life can kind of get like that. Like people can become less and less aggressive about their own goals, aggressive about who they want to be, and not comparing yourself to somebody else, because I don't think that that's very helpful. Like as Christians, we look to Christ, but we shouldn't be comparing ourselves to other people, because everybody has such different situations and limitations. And even if you have two people that are seemingly very much alike, they have different hurdles that they had to overcome in their childhood and throughout their lives that is different than other people. And because everybody has a different makeup, you know, one person that gets slapped in the face might have certain feelings about it, while another person, it means something completely different. So just, you know, you can't like base everything off of other people and how they react to things. Like you have your own things. So I think that people have to, you know, have their own goals for themselves, set their own things and do fight your way out of certain situations and find your way and stuff like that. But at the same time, he sounds kind of cynical because when he says wake up and sing along. People wake up and sing along.
Right, it's
I like
a song
that part.
about like radical individualism. Then
Yeah,
he's like,
but
sing
then he's
along
like,
with me.
You people wake up. Yeah.
I'm the exception. Trust no one, but
Yeah.
trust me. Go ahead.
Well, but then he says, I trust no one and my trust is gone. Ooh, I don't know. I feel like I guess it.
Go ahead.
Okay, I feel like that's not a good place to be at. Like, it sounds to me like, okay, how bitter are you? How closed off are you?
You don't like this color?
I mean, sure.
Talk about the Matrix. Go ahead.
Oh, so I trust no one? Like nobody? Your trust is, I don't know. I just feel like that's a pretty dark way to have to live.
Well, and then he talks, and then, of course, logically speaking, if you trust no one, then you're stuck with only yourself, right? So you end up having to trust yourself.
Yeah. Which he says, trust yourself, no one else.
And then he's talking about seeking the truth, which is really interesting, but he was talking about seeking truth within himself.
Yikes. Don't do that.
And I think everybody in honest moments would say there have been a lot of times when we've let our own selves down. When we've been like, damn, I can't believe I did that. Or we've dealt
absolutely.
with people who've dealt with addictions, right?
Yep.
And every addict has said, I'm never gonna do this again, and and they're kids and my kids are depending on me and all this. They say, I'm never gonna do it again. And they fail themselves again. And one of the big things about people who are addicted to, which is interesting because we're talking about drugs in the other one, but a lot of people, like the biggest liars are people who lie to themselves. So to me, it's like, it's a little bit like off-putting to say you're going to seek for truth within yourself.
Yeah.
Because to me, that's like the exact opposite of finding the truth. Because
right.
if you define truth as that which corresponds to reality, and then you define objectivity as that which exists outside of thinking minds.
Yeah.
Then if you try to find truth within yourself, you're almost doomed to never find the truth. Because
that doesn't even work in just like regular stuff. Like the internal temperature of our stove is always fucked up. And so you can't tell the internal temperature by judging the internal temperature by your own self. You have to, I got a little thermometer that now sits inside the stove and it tells us, and that lets us, but there's a standard by which to judge the internal temperature. And I think that if you're judging stuff within yourself, like you could be so friggin' far off and not realize it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, it's completely dangerous. Like one of the things for me philosophically or whatever is like, whatever I believe in has to work in practical ramifications that I do not think about. So one example would be, if I'm driving and the speed limit says 65,
Yep.
the first thing I do when I see a speed limit is I look at the odometer, whatever the thing is that tracks the speed limit. I don't look into myself to say how fast am I going.
Exactly.
Like the vast majority of the way that we find truth is almost exclusively external. Mm-hmm. And a lot of things that are true is things that we have to be taught. We have to be taught language. We have to be taught mathematics. So when it comes to like the deepest cores of philosophy, when people tell each other, look internally for truth, I'm like, yo, that's like the worst, even outside of a Christian understanding of the world. To me, that's like one of the most dangerous ways actually of ascertaining the truth. And you know, the concept that you can be your own hero and forget the world and you don't need a handout. I don't know, man. I've needed a lot of handouts and a lot of hand-ups to survive in the world. Like when we were, I talked about this last night. Like when we were homeless as kids, like we were depending on the goodwill of other people. We were in a synagogue one time. Shout out to the Jews. It was during Christmas actually, and we were in the synagogue during Christmas, and they opened up the synagogue, and we just lived in the synagogue, and it was all these homeless people from God knows what, and these Jewish people just opened their synagogue, and we lived there for about a week. We were going place week to week, and they actually came over one time, and they made us dinner and all that, and I played around with the kids and all that, and they didn't treat us like we were homeless. They're like, oh, okay, well, what are we eating? This is what we're eating, da-da-da. What are you good? What you want, blah? And it was just like, and their kids played with us and all that. And there were some other places that were not particularly and the church showed up, like, in spades. The church did a great job as well. I'm usually critical of church, so I look at where I am, and every stage in my life, there have always been people that have like given me a handout or a hand up or whatever. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a self-made person.
Yeah. Like
we're in a good spot. We're in a good spot financially. We're about to be in a very, very good spot financially. But I've never been a self-made person. Mm-hmm. Like even I'm an immigrant. Mm-hmm. That means America said, okay, you can come in. I wasn't born here. So for me, I'm like, yeah, bro, like, I understand, like, pull yourself from your bootstraps and all that, but I'm not sure, I don't know. That hasn't been my experience of life. That hasn't been my experience.
I think it depends on how you look at it. Because, there's the, you need the help, the handouts of other people, or you want to call it charity, whatever, love, call it whatever you want, but it's still, amounting to the same thing. And I think that depending on how people look at that really has an effect on how they're able to receive or not receive that. But I do think that, like, what to me, when he was saying, like, the sort of pick yourself up by your bootstraps sort of thing, one-man army, I was thinking more of, like, I can't if you're bent on destructive thinking or a destructive lifestyle, I can't force that out of you. I can't make you decide to think positively or look at the bright side or look at the cup as half full rather than half empty. That's a you thing. Like, I can try to do that for you, but
what's a me thing?
Like, if you're internally negative and you want to see everything as negative and you want to see somebody helping you out as a handout that you're above or whatever, like, everybody has to make that decision for themselves. And we create, like, there's a certain amount of reality around us that is what it is. Like, that's what's been given to you. But then there's a huge portion of it that is what we create, that it is what we make it to be. Yeah. So if you want to see the glass is half empty and that's how you view the world, then there's going to be a lot of negativity around you. But if you can become the type of person that sees it as half full, that's going to be a lot better of a life for you. So when he was talking about that, like the one-man army, I'm enlisted, trust yourself, no one else, that stuff, like, F a hero, be yourself, like, I was thinking more of, like, that aspect of it. I think that there is a necessity there, but I'm not sure that's actually where he's going in the song.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I agree. You should be yourself. You should stop trying to, that line I think is really important. Stop being a hero, be yourself. Because it's very interesting. Like, and I don't think people do this on purpose in the main, but a lot of society runs on the carrot and stick method. So you punish those actions or mindsets that you don't want to see replicated, and then you praise those actions and mindsets that you do want to see replicated.
Yep.
So when you heroize a person, a lot of the time, sure, a lot of it is genuine admiration, but a lot of it behind that is social manipulation. So one example would be, we talked about this yesterday, where Ronnie Lott is a football player. He injured his pinky finger, and the prognosis was this is not going to heal for a bunch of months, and his team was going into the playoffs. So Ronnie Lott goes, okay, and he amputates his finger. He says, just cut it off. So he cut off his finger so that he could play the game. And, you know, he's lionized as this football hero. He's a tough guy, yada, yada, yada.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm sure in the microcosm, people like really admired that level of commitment. But in the macrocosm, that is part of a culture. That's a form of cultural manipulation that says your body is not worth as much as this owner's franchise winning a football game, because if you win a football game, your jersey sales go up, all the rest of it, and the billionaire becomes more of a billionaire than before. So, on the one hand, there are a lot of people that are genuinely admiring that, but they're admiring that because these billionaire owners created a subculture where that kind of brutality gets celebrated.
Yep.
And I had to Google who the guy was. I don't know who he is, and I watch football a lot. I have no idea who Ronnie Lott is now. And so, the glory that he got from cutting on, he's walking around without an appendage. It's like, what the hell?
I know.
And so,
It doesn't.
society, a lot of the things that get galvanized or lionized by people in society is really just social manipulation. And
because
so,
I had a problem with that because I felt like people were celebrating something that they would never friggin' do.
oh, well, that's what the vast majority of the people celebrate.
No.
The vast majority of the things that people celebrate, they celebrate because they would never do it. That's the entire reason it gets celebrated. You know, and some of that is good and some of that isn't. For example, like I celebrate marathon runners. Well, that's good for their bodies. It gives them, you know, I would never do it probably, but a lot of what gets celebrated is social manipulation.
Yeah, but to me, that was psychosis that shouldn't have been allowed. Like, no.
Correct.
You cannot remove part of your
I
body
agree.
for this friggin' game.
I
you have
agree.
your entire life ahead of you. What
I
are you
agree.
talking about? Get some help. But instead, everybody, you know, supported that. No.
And to this,
I'm not good with.
To this day, they supported it. To this day, it's supported and celebrated and all. You know,
that's because they want other people to follow suit.
And it's the same thing. Yeah,
but that's that
football
whole culture. Yeah,
that's that whole
exactly.
subculture. So when Bruce Arians yells at Antonio Brown and says, "Get back in there, you're cut," blah blah blah. Nobody's talking about, hey, this boss said this horrible thing to his employee, because that's what it is. All they're saying is, oh, Antonio Brown's crazy. Of course, Antonio Brown is crazy. He's done a whole bunch of other crazy shit. But it gets completely ignored that his boss treated him that way.
Yeah.
That gets complete because they're all part of that subculture
Yep.
of, oh, you're a hero if you play hurt. You're a hero if you play in a broken bone. You're a hero if you amputate your leg. And if you don't do that, then you don't really have a commitment to the team. And so, because that's what a hero is in the NFL, anything other than that, we're going to say that you're crazy. Fred, the local villager, what's up, Fred?
Hey.
So I do agree with that. Like, stop trying to be everybody's hero. I mean, honestly, you know, I was in a situation a couple years ago where I was like, yo, I'm out of here.
Yep.
And it's crazy because some of those people from my past life like reconnected with me, and I was very pensive, but I was like, yeah, okay. And they started making me the hero again, and I completely stopped talking to them. And to this day, they have they have no idea why I stopped talking to them. And it's not because I'm angry at them. It's not because I was beefing with them. I mean, they were pretty loyal friends through the whole thing. I couldn't be around them anymore because they could not see me as anything other than that. And to be a hero 24/7 is one of the most dehumanizing things that you can ever go through as a human being. And so, to me, I'm like, I couldn't believe I couldn't go with that.
Yeah.
And I recognized being people's hero all the time is not healthy. That's not healthy. So that part of the song I really resonated with, and I really agree with it. And I'm not saying that people should react to people the way I did, but I at that point I was like, okay, I'm done talking to this person.
Yep.
And like, they didn't do anything wrong, they didn't do anything offensive, but I had already said on a multitude of occasions, this is the kind of space I need, this is where, but they couldn't help it. And I'm just like, okay.
Wow.
Like,
wow. That's too bad.
but it's not too bad. They're going to be okay. They're okay. They're
no,
gonna be okay.
I'm saying it's too bad because they could have had a friendship, but they couldn't because they couldn't not put you in that place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you missed out on a friendship, I'm sure, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna, but
yeah,
that comes with experience. Like, you got to experience when people are trying to do that. We're trying to make you a hero. I'm sure, like, as a rock star, like, he had to go through that.
And I think that people do it because they want to. So I follow this mom that she had a baby, and the dad had, like, mental breakdowns and stuff, and so he ended up leaving, and so she had to birth the child by herself, and now she's been raising the child by herself, and it's the first year, and it's been extremely difficult, and she said that she's so sick and tired of people saying, wow, you're such a hero, or wow, you're such a strong mom, or I don't know how you do it. She's like, why do people say I don't know how you do that? Why don't you say, hey, let me come over and help?
Right.
Why is that even a phrase? I don't know how you do that. So you recognize that I'm having such a struggle that you don't even understand how I'm doing it. And instead of doing something to lift some of that pressure off me, you're just going to say that little phrase and walk away?
Yeah. Yeah. And
yikes.
And that's a very self-aware line, man, when he's like, I'm not going to be your... what was it? I'm not going to be a hero. Yeah, fuck a hero, be yourself.
That one?
Yeah, that's a very, very, that's probably the most important line in the song to me. Most important line probably all night, because that's kind of been the story of my life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, and it's not, and if you're not somebody who's ever been like put on that pedestal, you kind of get jealous of those people. People get jealous of you when they don't get to play the role of hero.
Yeah.
But they don't understand that that's just another form of manipulation 90% of the time, just as much as being the scapegoat is. The scapegoat is also a form of manipulation because it tells the society around you, don't be like this.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The hero is a form of manipulation because it tells the society around you, you need to be like this guy. You're both being played. And so, like, the scapegoat is always like, damn, I wish I could be the hero. What the scapegoat doesn't recognize is that the hero's looking at the scapegoat saying, damn, I wish I could be like him.
Yeah.
Because he gets to do whatever the hell she wants.
Yep.
She just gets to say and do whatever because, and it's crazy. In my family system, my older brother was the hero and I was the scapegoat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's true. Like, it's not even close. Like, I thought I had it bad as a kid, but
it's worse the other way.
Because... Wow. Yeah, I had a lot more freedom being the scapegoat than my brother the hero. It's not even close.
The DJ, I'm not sure if I read the opening thing. The opening musical note always instantly made me like this song whenever it came on, and I think it sounds great and has some good messages in it.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely agree with that.
I feel like they separated themselves from the whole NuMetal genre because of their guitar work specifically. Lyrically, I think some of it is extremely dangerous and some of it is extremely helpful.
Yep.
Like, they're both on the other side, because I think you're right. It's this sort of almost nihilistic cynicism. You can't trust anybody. You got to trust somebody.
That's not healthy either.
And it's not even just trust God. Like, you have to trust some beings to get through this world.
I mean,
you're
in the goulash, you know what I mean? Like, I know you're just surrounded by, you know what I'm saying? Like, in a situation like that, it's like, okay, well, yeah, don't trust anybody in this situation. But in normal life, you shouldn't be.
Yeah, you have to.
In that.
Because then you have no relationships. You
Yep.
can't be with anybody.
You
You can't have a friend. You got to trust somebody. But I understand the concept that, I don't trust anyone. See, but again, this is what happens when you have a perfectionist mindset towards your friends and family. In other words, everybody is going to betray you.
Yeah.
Because everybody has inherent weaknesses. People don't like the term sin. It's got too much negative freight. Okay, fine. Sidelight the term. But all of your friends, your mom, your dad, your significant other, they're not going to be able to come through for you every single time. They're going to fail you. And you have to love them in spite of that. You can't say, oh, so I don't put my ultimate trust in anyone but Allah. But as far as like day-to-day practical, no, I don't think you're going to run off with some... I don't think I'm going to wake up and you're going to run off with some girl and leave me hanging high and dry or whatever. I don't think you're going to do that. But there are other places where you failed me or betrayed, and vice versa, and vice versa, and like, if you go in a relationship saying, okay, here are some barriers some boundaries that I have as far as these are the kinds of betrayals that I cannot tolerate in a relationship, right? These anything other than that, okay, it's fair game. Right? So, like, with us, but we've already got a template because we're Christians. So, with us, it's like, don't run off on me. You know what I'm saying? But all the other shit, I will expect and tolerate. And I will actually learn to embrace, because part of relationships, a lot of us go into relationships for our own selfish reasons. But in reality, a lot of relationships are about finally learning to love, actually.
Yeah.
Like, when you're a kid, you really don't know how to love, because if your parents are being parents properly, they're doing everything for you. So it's easy for Orion to love you. He's hungry, you feed him, he's thirsty. You give him what he wants.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Relationships, when you get older and you get into manhood and womanhood, and you get into like a relationship like this is the training ground for you to actually love one person truly. And one of the ways of doing that is to absorb certain degrees of pain and love the person in spite of it, and not hold them to these perfectionistic standards. And it's the same thing with friendship. You can't say, because the person failed you or betrayed you, I'm never going to trust anybody. Like, come on, bro. That's not a realistic diagnosis of humanity. And here's a real big secret. Come close, I'll tell you. You've also failed and betrayed your friends and loved ones.
Right.
So how about we just say, okay, here are some boundaries, right? And then within that, everything is fair game, and I'm gonna trust you and love you, in spite of that. Like, that to me is the only way. Like, otherwise, we're just in relationships for ourselves and what we can get out of them, and we're not trying to let the process teach us how to actually love, because loving people in the truest sense of love is not natural to humanity. I don't care what anybody says. It's not natural to us. We have to be taught to do it. And the way to get taught to do it is to experience those bad feelings and learn how to forgive and move on, and learn how to see those things within yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, anyway.
Yep.
What do you give the song?
8.9.
What'd you say?
8.9.
That's funny because D. Chamberlain gave it an 8.659. I give this song a 9.7. I love the guitar work on this song. Okay.
Vin out, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm just going to let you know something about the next thing, so carry on.
Okay. All right. Having said that, dear listener, Vin out.
Sorry out.
Go.
I think we've been forgetting to Vin out, sorry out, huh?
I think we did on the first song.
Okay. So I just airdropped you. Did you get that?
No. Do it again. Why we have another one.
Oh, another picture.
Okay, dear listener, we are coming back with another song commercial break. We will be right back. I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sorry says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at instory@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is a community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord,
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
and they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/VinandSory. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sory and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy merch.
Buy our merch indeed.
And a child shall lead
Child
them.
shall lead them. We are in the midst of NuMetal nights.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say this handsome fella right here is our DJ. However,
picture's
this
about to
handsome
change.
fella is our DJ.
Here he is in the stadium.
Well,
Some baseball
he
now.
was also in a stadium before.
Yeah, but the
I
other
think
one
he
was
in a
football,
soccer
right?
stadium or a football stadium, yeah.
So we have a NuMetal stream going on tonight with the big homie, DJ Tony the Lone Rider.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Next up on our list is Mudvayne, Under My Skin.
Mudvayne, one of my favorite bands of all time in the NuMetal space.
So what our DJ has to say about this one is it's... So sorry. One of my favorite Mudvayne songs, especially the rapping part of the song, which I love.
Oh, there's rapping in this song.
Interesting.
Excellent. Okay.
All right.
So let's check
Do it
this
up.
out. Let's check this out, guys.
Get yourselves ready because we're about to go into it.
Yes.
Lyrics.
Hopefully this one doesn't get cut off in the middle like the other one has. Holy smokes.
You should have. The Lone Rider. Everybody's always afraid to use real pictures of themselves.
Okay, let's do it. Mudvayne, Under My Skin. Let's do it. Assault.
sad, stay with them too.
Always in my pockets, mate. Always in my seat. Always in my sight. Always in my way. Tell me, black is black. If you really think you got what it takes to be me, then walk a mile in the skin. Will be a dick with your freedom. So you wanna breathe? Or is that the belongs to me? We'll make the cut off the line. We'll take to you like a son of free. If you really think you got what it takes to be me, then walk a mile in the skin. Will be a dick with your freedom. So you wanna breathe? Or is that the belongs to me? We'll make the cut off the line. We'll take to you like a son of free.
Whoa! By the way, Sadie,
Okay.
I've gone on record and said I believe in the existence of other gods, the real existence of other gods. They're just
It's
lowercase
true.
g's.
It's true.
They bow their knees to Yahweh, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, and the God of Gods. Talk to me! Okay, back to
That
our regularly
was
scheduled program.
crazy. Okay, I really, really, really like that one.
The thing about Mudvayne is musically, like, they don't follow verse, chorus, verse, whatever.
Right.
They don't do that. Like,
Right. Okay.
there's no band that's like them. I don't know if they're progressive. They're just Mudvayne. They're like in a corner by
Yep.
themselves somewhere doing their thing. Okay, go ahead.
It kind of reminded me of People Equal Shit. Had that energy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it definitely did. It definitely did. For sure, for sure.
Okay, very, 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 very fun. I liked how heavy it got. I like when they're like screaming and saying, like, commanding, I guess you could say.
What do you think my favorite line was in the song?
I knew it when it came by. I was like, I looked at you. Oh, frig, what was it?
You're thinking too long.
Am I? Go. Just say it.
Go ahead. Go ahead. You seem to really like the song, so go ahead. Carry it, ma'am. Carry it, brother minister.
So, well, actually, I'm not really. Let's go into the lyrics because I loved the sound of the song. I was having fun with it. I wanted to be at a concert. I like it when songs make me feel like that.
For sure.
I was like, oh man, like that. Everything's getting canceled though. So he's drawn the line. It sounded like to me, right?
I'm done with you people.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Nailed inside my head. F this. I don't need your shit. All the lies, deceit, and arrogance. Talk your shit like my life is some kind of game. Like you effing know. Oh, you know what? I was going to say. So when he was saying the chorus, if you really think you got what it takes to be me, to penetrate me, then walk a mile in my skin. So anyway, we get what he's saying. Walk a mile in my shoes is basically what he's saying. If you think it's so easy to be me, right?
Yeah.
And that... I actually spend like some time thinking about that, like not like a lot, but not no time either. Just thinking about walking a mile in someone else's shoes and how literally no one has ever been able to do it, because there's so many differences in people that even if you birthed a child, which you can't do, like in that one situation, you're not going to experience it like I am because you don't know the things that I've been through. Like we share a lot with each other, but we don't share, like, you don't know exactly down to like the individuals of who I am that sometimes you don't even know yourself to be able to even share that with somebody else. So like, you don't know nobody is ever going to be able to walk a mile in somebody else's shoes. And everybody, like lots of people feel like their situation is so much worse than somebody else's, instead of realizing that lots of times there was somebody that said that line, like everybody's fighting a battle, so tread easily or something like that. Like we have to recognize that everybody, if we had to walk in somebody else's shoes, would experience something pretty crazy because everybody's life has different elements to it that make it particularly difficult. What's that look on your face?
I'm listening. Go ahead.
So, anyway, I just like to think about, like, I think about it a lot because of Facebook, because you see people make posts that, they're suffering so badly and they put their complaints out there. Like some people are like habitual complainers. Like, a post pops up, that it's going to be a complaint. Or some people, it's always, there are very few people, I think, that kind of give you a sort of real human feel to their Facebook. It's all just one thing or two things. But when I think about that concept, I just think how detached a lot of us can be from the suffering of others, because some people just look at their situations, and then how much I was in the store and I saw this guy was talking about some issue he was having, and there was a woman that was listening so intently to what he was saying. And I thought to myself, like, they're probably not in a relationship together, because most times after, if you're that age and you've been together that long, like, they're not good listeners to each other in lots of different relationships that you see, like people that are in their like 50s that have been together for a long time. Like, obviously the issue he's sharing, it's a grocery store situation. It's not like he's going to talk about his deep, dark secrets. But the issue that he was sharing, she was like so intently listening to it. And I was thinking like how people, they lose touch with each other. And, you know, maybe this is somebody that he knew from a long time ago and he can't even share with the people that he's very close to because he couldn't share. I don't know. Just, do you understand where I'm going or what I'm saying here?
Well, no, I don't know what you mean by older couples not listening to each other. Maybe it's just because I haven't been around a lot of older couples that don't listen to each other.
Well, this, you know, like even...
I haven't seen that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You've seen older couples that do listen to each other.
I mean, Hal and Peg, they used to listen to each other a lot.
See, I always thought she was a little dismissive of him, but...
But go ahead.
I don't know.
Finish your point.
But... Anyway, I don't, because that kind of sidetracked me for a smidge. I'm not sure. But I just think that, you know, everybody's going, and sometimes we get very detached from the sufferings of other people, or we can get very detached because we're so busy looking at our own. And so, you know, I think about the things that bother me or trouble me. And then I heard, you know, about somebody else today and what they're going through. And it's so much more significant than the things that I've suffered. And... you know, but then, you know, that person hasn't suffered the way I suffered and the things that I've suffered. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody just has different stuff that they go through. So when he says, you think that, you know, when he's challenging them that probably they couldn't walk, well, we all could say that, right? It's not just some people that suffer. Like, everybody has suffering and there are degrees to it. So I tell the kids, I don't cry if I stub my toe, but Orion, when he stubs his toe this summer, he's going to cry. The more you go through, the more, like, you know, you see what I'm saying? You've been through more than I have. Do you disagree with this?
Well, no, I think I agree with the basic premise, which is even if you've gone through like for example, died, I was the only one out of the three of us and my brothers that was able to speak at the funeral.
Yes.
My younger brother wasn't able to. My older brother wasn't able to, and we all experienced the same death, and we all got the same horrible call at the same time at night. Mm-hmm. The issue that people have is we are an accumulation of all the experiences we've had. And it's impossible for all of us to experience the same experiences. Mm-hmm. I related to my mother differently.
Exactly.
Than my two brothers did.
Right. Exactly.
So I was able to get up there and speak because we had an extremely volatile up and down relationship. And so there was nothing unspoken between the two of us. And the last conversation I had with my mom was basically, God told me, you need to talk to your mom. This is the last time you're going to talk to your mom. And I'm pretty certain that both of us knew that. Knowing when we were talking.
Really?
Yeah. And so I was able, so that's, my other two brothers were completely wrecked. And usually my older brother was the one that carried us. And I carried us that time in that particular moment. Yeah. So I couldn't, it would be ridiculous for me to say, well, why can't you guys? Ridiculous. I had a completely different experience. So it's a lesson I learned in the Antonio Brown situation, because when he did what he did, I was extremely critical of him. Mm-hmm. I've never played in the NFL. I don't know what it's like to be in. It turns out this man had a ligament completely torn off of his ankle, and he had bone fragments swimming around. And then there's a new thing that came out. He had something else happening. There was a bulge where something was pulling in something else. And you get very ignorant people that go, well, then how is he jumping jacking off the field? As if that's the same as running a post route.
I know.
Or running a mesh, or they have no idea.
Ridiculous.
The kind of volatility on the ankle that what he was called to do on the field versus what he actually... So, and now we're in a situation where everybody gets to opine on everybody. Mm-hmm. And everybody feels that their opinion is equally valid or whatever. I have the right to say whatever I want about Antonio Brown, but that doesn't mean that my opinion on him is as valid as his orthopedic surgeon. Mm-hmm. Those are not the same thing.
Right.
I have an opinion as a guy who's watching him thousands of miles away on a screen. The orthopedic surgeon worked on his foot. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my favorite line is like, "Go away and be small." That's my favorite line.
Where? I didn't even see that one.
Command F it. Just command F it. Just type small in there.
Babe.
Yeah, just go far away and be small. Run far away. Go wide and be small.
Oh my goodness.
That's my favorite line.
Yeah, that's actually that's good.
I love that line because
yeah, that's not the line I thought it was. I don't know which one I thought it was.
Yeah, it's my favorite line because and people will look at you if you say that to somebody, people will look at you, they'll call you arrogant.
Yeah.
So because like you don't allow them to get under your skin and you dismiss people say, "Oh, you're dismissive."
Yep.
Yeah, I've dismissed lots of people because they're trying to get inside of a certain force field and I'm not going to let you do it.
Yep.
And they know and me, when I make the decision that person's done, you can be right in front of me. I don't see you anymore. And they know that and that bothers them. So they'll say, "Oh, you're being arrogant." So I'm sure they try to manipulate him and, "Oh, you're being an arrogant rock star."
Yep.
And no, Tony, you're right because I don't remember this song on LD50 at all. I mean, I don't remember this song at all. This was on LD50. It looks like. What song was this on? It was
15 out of 18. Wow, that's a lot of songs.
Okay, so Pharmacopoeia was like a interlude and all. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I completely missed that.
Which song did you listen to the most on this album?
Severed.
Okay.
I divorce your makeshift.
Yeah.
Death Blooms, Nothing to Gain, -1, Dig. I mean, all these songs were really, really good, to be honest with you. They were really, really, really good. But, like, people will get really angry at you if you don't let them into that. I call it my sacred space. Like, I mean, you're in there, obviously. There's like a few people in there. But, like, I'm not going to let you inside of there. To the point where like you're trying to get under my skin and all the rest of it. I'm just gonna dismiss you, and it's not like I'm not open to criticism because my closest friends are the most critical of me. Like I've got a friend right now, we go back and forth all the time. It's not that, it's people who don't have information or people who are trying to manipulate you into seeing things their way or doing things their way, or they're upset at you because you don't hold with a certain whatever, and they're just trying to control you with all this manipulation. I'm just not going to do it. I'll just say, "Go away and be small. You're beneath me." And people will look at that and say, "Oh, he's really arrogant." But at the same time, I'm the guy that'll shoot a video and say, "Yo, I was completely wrong about this." Yada yada.
Yeah.
So it's not about that. But, I have found that the term arrogant or arrogant rock star or, "Oh, you think you're some big YouTuber," yada, yada. I found all that shit 90% of the time. They don't really mean that. They're just trying to manipulate you. Because now, if they call you arrogant, now you're going to have to do what they want you to do to prove that you're not arrogant.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think it's a very instructive line. A lot of people need to say that, man. Go in a hole and be small. You're a small person. Like...
Yeah, it's funny
sorry.
because when you get in that, like, it's not even that you're angry with the person. Like, you're not angry with them. You're not like, it's none of that. And so, like, sometimes I'll be like, bring somebody up. You'll be like, "Who?" And I can tell, like, you've put that so far over there that it's completely not even in there. Not even in your consciousness anymore.
Yeah, I forgot about it.
And yeah, you don't look like you're like, like bitter people or angry people that are like holding on to something.
Yeah.
There's like this certain seething, whatever. It's not like that. Very interesting.
Says, "You want a piece of this life that belongs to me." So this was
Jealous.
their breakout record, but they had already been doing music or whatever. And Meek Mill talks about this all the time. Like when you're like in the hood and you're rapping and you put a song out, but you're at everybody's level. Everybody's like, "Oh, that's great." But then when you make it, then all of a sudden people get mad at you. So like,
Yep.
when you're at a certain level, everybody's cool with you. But then when you start to ascend beyond them, then they get really upset at you.
Yep.
And then they start acting, they get very strange. They start acting like you owe them stuff and all the rest of it. And like, we were in a situation, we were in an organization, stuff started blowing up. People started getting published in newspapers and all. And people started getting interviews on the news. And people were going to the Supreme Court and all. And people just started getting more and more jealous. And it's like, man, play your position, bro. And there's this one guy that was like completely delusional. And he goes, I can do what you can do at the same level. And I said, no, you can't. And it wasn't because I was being arrogant. The guy just was not gifted in that field. That was just not his thing.
You know, and the thing is, sometimes you can't even figure out where somebody's actually gifted because they're so busy trying to be somebody else.
Yeah. They're trying to be somebody else. And it's like, man, that's not. I said, no, you can't. Mm-hmm. And he, of course, he's so arrogant, blah, blah, blah.
Wasn't even close.
It's just objectively true.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
You're not gifted that way. But, people, that sets people off, man. But yeah, a lot of times I forget about those people. But it's not but a lot of it has to do with, we got so focused. We got so much stuff going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the other thing is, like, before we started shooting this video, you were talking to me about somebody you were talking to on Patreon and stuff that they were going through. Mm-hmm. And, like, see, that's the thing about small people is that, to me, small people, they're always self-focused. And they always talk about themselves. And they always feel sorry for themselves because that's what makes you small, is the continual focus on yourself. So right before we went live, you were talking about this guy's situation, somebody on Patreon that, there's 170,000 whatever subscribers, but you can talk on Patreon to people on a more personal whatever, and you're the main person, and so you develop relationships with people over years, and so you're having this and you're sharing this, and I could tell that you're really affected by what's going on, in this guy's life. And then you were relating it to something you were listening to with Jordan Peterson. And, that's kind of your self-improvement regimen, and you're making these connections and biblical connections. And I'm like, that's a big person. They're expansive. They're working on this self-improvement, and they're seeing how this thing that they learned interfaces with this guy's horrible situation and your religion. And you don't have time to sit there and worry about Joe Smo.
Oh, God.
You know what I'm saying? And the silly things that people have to say.
Yeah.
But when you're a self-absorbed person and you're not working on any improvement and you're just worried about yourself and you're jealous of other people and you believe somehow that you should have what another person has, you become a very, very small person. And for me, maybe there'll be a time in my life when God says, all right, Finney, you need to start dealing with small people. But I've never had that. Every time I've said, okay, I'm done with you, like, I've never had a thing where, like, well, engage with this small person. And Jesus did that. Mm-hmm. Jesus did that. He was like, man, let the dead bury their own dead. He's like, man, leave those people alone. He's like, just avoid them. They're both blind, leading the blind. They'll fall into a ditch. Leave them. Yep. I'm not supposed to go and save everybody from whatever. Like, go ahead, man. Like, go for it. Obviously, you can use that negatively, and I'm sure I have at some level, but I don't know. It works for me a lot. Mm-hmm. a lot.
Yeah.
It's Mudvayne. 9.9 for me.
Oh, it was a 10 for me.
Yeah. A lot of metal. Not good for my neck, but...
I felt so bad for you because it was such a fun one to bounce around to, and I'm like, he can't move. You can't jump around. Poor you.
All right. There you are, dear listener.
Sorry, out.
Hold on, I want to put Vlad Singh on there because I do want to balance it out. You can also go the other extreme. I've never seen a more passive religion than Jainism. They'll live with bugs. Okay, that's not what I thought he was going to say. But shout out to the Jains who live with bugs because they don't want to kill them. Vid out.
Sorry, out.
Go. All right, commercial break. We got another song for you, dumb butts.
Well, is it the? Hold on a second.
It's
Limp
by
Bizkit.
a band named Limp Bizkit. I don't know if you guys ever heard of them. Stand by, dear listener. I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. So he says 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't right in front of everybody. 125 There, you do that 3 times and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at instory@gmail.com and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village. Facebook.com/VinlandStory. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Story and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener. Weird.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed.
And a child shall leave them.
I think you gotta check your email because I think the homie was sending you something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we were practicing our song, and the kids were doing the whole thing along. And then there was one part where I sing, and Johan was doing like a screaming vocals. It was very interesting. He's doing it.
Oh, he's doing it.
He's doing it.
For the last song. I'm not completely okay, Seven. Like, my neck is like, I think what happened was I read this book on weightlifting. It's called Bigger, Faster, Something. Yeah, you little sexy bass. He's got shit lined up. I'm working on that. I'm gonna get there one day, inshallah. Anyway, and I think what ended up happening was I overcommitted on. I was up to 225, I think, and I went straight from. I literally went from 0 to, because when we go to gym, it's usually just running and then we're doing the sauna. But I went from 0 to, I think it was like 130 straight to 225. Because the book says you should only be able to do 4 reps at a time with 30-second intervals. And so, but the book basically said, if you can do up to 6, whatever, that's kind of the gray zone. So I probably should have stayed at like 200. But anyways, I overcommitted. And you know what happens when you're at the last rep in the last set. I think what ended up happening was I already injured my left side, because obviously my left side is weaker than my right side. I injured my left side. We went to Boston, where we were supposed to hang out with Amy Lee, but then they canceled the show. We went anyway, but we're going to go again. And then I rested for a week. And then what happened is I went right back to 225. So I got injured. I built myself up like slowly. Well, not really slowly. I went from 125 to 225. But then after I got injured, I didn't lift at all. We just ran and did sauna. And then when I got 25, and I just think I strained my entire left side because it's a left side of my neck. So that's what's been going on.
He'll be in that situation, but then he'll like our bed is up against the wall, and he'll lean up against the wall like just his head, not like his whole body, just his head. I'm like, you shouldn't do that. That's gonna make your neck worse.
Kai in the house, DJ Kai in the house. Yeah,
he's got this "I'm no bitch" attitude, and I think it elongates it.
It's not that. Send that back. No, it's not
Send
that.
what? Send it again?
Yeah, it's not that. It's just, everybody that's done, everybody that's done gym work or whatever, you know what it's like. Like, you don't really feel it when you're doing it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I just got back to lifting yesterday, and that's what I said to myself. I bet you anything, like, that's what happened. Like, I bet you that's, you know what I'm saying? And so I haven't, I broke down. I'm at like 120, and, it's better than nothing. And, There he is. Yeah, that's my boy. That's my. Look at the intensity.
Yep.
But the friendliness.
Yeah.
And look at that symmetry of that beard. The
Yep.
sexy face. Okay. All right, guys. We got one more song for you guys. Limp, Bizkit. CBD lotions are good. You know what? I was thinking about that. What was that like? What was that you had?
I don't know. It was what they gave me when my neck got messed up.
Yeah. None of those places are open. It's 1:00 in the morning. But yeah, I definitely would like to try some. We got some CBD something somewhere here. I don't know about again, it's Maine. None of these places are open. Anyway, you guys don't care about my rambling. Here we go. We got one more song.
Okay, wait, hold on. Let me read his little blurb.
Yeah.
Okay, last song on the list of our NuMetal stream for DJ the Lone Rider, in the corner here, is Limp Bizkit Rearranged. He said, this was the first song of theirs I heard, and I instantly loved it. It's such a cool, chill song, and that's exactly how I want to end this stream, on a super chill feeling.
Chill.
I'm like, okay, is this Daddy all over again, where it's a lie and it's not going to be chill? You know, like when I was like, I feel like this is going to be sad, and you didn't tell me.
I know.
Is it going to be chill or not?
Well, it doesn't matter.
I literally don't know which. Like, there's part of me that's like ready to go, and the other part's like ready to be chill.
Well, talk to the people because
you don't have a anti-climactic. All right, I'm coming right back to the stream, y'all.
It's a conspiracy.
Get a neck pillow vid. Actually, he has one that was the one I used, but
What?
He doesn't follow instructions of stuff. Like, he'll have the neck pillow up onto the wall, and so then I can still see it's like messing with his neck. I'm like, you got to push down.
I feel better not lifting.
Yeah.
As much and not planking for, planking for 3 minutes
planking
is not
for so long.
Also not very helpful because like your entire body, you're like restrained. Like, but in the book it specifically says to like don't max out all the time.
Yeah.
Like it specifically says that. And I remember when I was trying to, be a super whatever.
You were doing it a lot.
All of us got injured.
Okay, he wants you to take that picture down.
Oh my goodness.
He's like, it's been up too long. It has not.
Has not, but whatever. All of us got injured.
Ladies, I believe he's single.
Yeah, single and what's the
chat in the comment section? I'm sure he'll be there.
Single and ready to mingle.
Yep, single. What is it? Swipe left, swipe right. I don't know. They always have it on the different shows. I'm not sure which way you should swipe.
I don't
know. Okay, are you ready?
No, not yet. But yeah, the world record of planking was like 9 hours.
Yeah, literally. Somebody was just saying that in the chat. Whenever I plank, I always think of that guy. I'm like, what did he do with his mind that whole time? He said he enjoyed the people around them and laughed with them. And
yeah,
I'm like, 9.
Sorry, stop trying to fix me up. I don't know.
Oh, well, okay. You say matchmaker, make me a match. All right, ready?
Well, there's a poem that you're supposed to read, inshallah.
A poem?
Yeah, he said, sorry, read my poem.
Oh, he sent another thing. Okay.
I think it's right there, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. Music makes me high. Some music brings me low. Some music makes me feel like dancing. And some makes me feel like romancing. Brings about happiness. Brings about sadness. Makes me feel somber. Oh, so comfortably numb. Makes me feel like I can take on the world. Maybe even fall in love with a girl. See, I told you. I can't rap, but I like it. Headbanging while I'm hard rocking. Yeah, I got a lot of soul. Let's get down at this disco while we feel the rhythm and blues. Enjoy no words with just... Oh, can you... Do you want to read some of it too?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Enjoy no words with just an instrumental. But first, let's go pop while we reach the top of the charts. Music brings such love and joy to my heart. Very good.
There's a lot of genres in there. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you miss it. Rhythm and blues, pop, instrumentals, hard rock, rap. That's the homie.
Yep.
That's the homie.
Yep.
That's the homie.
Yep.
All right, guys. One more Limp Bizkit Rearranged. DJ Tony, the Lone Rider, who brought us all of this freaking goodness. Let's
Here
go!
It comes.
Okay.
Just think about it. think about it. Lately I've been skeptical, silent when I would used to speak, distant from all around me. The wind weak, life is overwhelming. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. I'd love to be the one to disappoint you when I don't fall down, but you don't understand when I'm attempting to explain, because you know it all and I guess things will never change. But you might need my hand when falling in your hole. Your disposition I'll remember when I'm letting go of you.
Okay.
And me. We're through and rearranged.
Very chill.
Seems that you're not satisfied. There's too much on your mind. So you leave and I can't believe all the bullshit that I find. Life is overwhelming. Heavy is the head that wears a crown. I love to be the one to disappoint you when I don't fall down. But you don't understand when I'm attempting to explain, because you know it all and I guess things will never change. But you might need my hand when falling in your hole. Your disposition I'll remember when I'm letting go of you. And me, we're through and rearranged.
Chill.
You and me, we're through and rearranged. You're no good for me. Thank God it's over. You make believe that nothing is wrong until you're crying, and you make believe that life is so long until you're dying. You make believe that nothing is wrong until you're crying, crying on me. You make believe that life is so long until you're dying, dying on me. You think that everybody is the same. I don't think that anybody is like you. You think that everybody is the same. I don't think that anybody is like you. Just think about it. You'll get it.
I really like this song. It was really. I
It
feel
was
like
smooth. You didn't lie.
I feel like there are some bands where I was watching this Vlad thing where this guy beat this kid up, that it was his cellmate. And Vlad said, "Why'd you beat him up? Like, why'd you have beef with the kid?" The guy was like, "I was just a follower." And I feel like Limp Bizkit is one of those bands where people are like, you're not supposed to like them just because people are followers. Like, you cannot say that this is not an objectively good song.
Oh yeah, like, I really like it.
And even the hip hop elements, like they did good with the hip hop elements. Like they used the scratching and the way that hip hop is supposed to go. And trust me, I know, because I'm not a guest in hip hop. I'm a native. I'm indigenous to that space. So like, I don't understand like all the vitriol against Limp Bizkit. Now, granted, like I didn't really listen to them. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and say, "Yeah, I like."
Well,
Limp
you were
Bizkit.
a follower back then, babe.
I was, huh?
I said, well, you were a follower back then, babe.
I was a Korn kid, and then I listened to Slipknot, and then I listened to Metallica, and that was my shit. So, and I didn't have all this money to go buy all these records, because back in the day, like it's not like now where you like you were saying, there's like 70,000 bands and all this.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you had to buy shit. So if you were like loyal to a band, especially me, because I got into metal so late, like I had to buy all of Korn's backlog. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, same thing with Slipknot. Although, like, I bought the first Slipknot record, and then I had to, you know, buy all of Metallica. So like,
Did you pay full price for all your Korn records, or were you able to find them on a discount rack or anything?
No.
It's always full. Yeah.
Yeah. It was all like 1999 or some shit. So like I never got into the whole fuck Limp Bizkit type of energy. I don't think I've actually.
Oh, you didn't. Oh, okay.
I don't think I've actually seen them live either, which is kind of weird because Korn and Limp Bizkit used to do so much work together. But I don't think I've ever seen Limp Bizkit live, which is kind of weird. But this song is really, really good.
I loved it. It was. People are going to be angry. It didn't sound like Pink Floyd, but it gave me the same calm as Pink Floyd.
It was chill.
Yeah, I felt like I should be on like some hammock out in some yard or something. And
the bass line,
yeah,
like it's just like, all right. But the song lyrically had some pain in it for sure. It seems like it was like, you know, happening there.
Oh. Whoa.
You don't understand what I'm attempting to explain because you know it all. I guess things will never change. You might need my hand when you're falling in your hole, your disposition. I remember when I'm letting go of you and me. We're through and rearranged. That's smart. That's smart lyricism.
Yep.
That's smart lyricism.
Yep.
And BC says, "How dare you, sorry? How dare you?"
Are you clutching your pearls?
Yeah. His BC has got to be one of the most miserable people on this
That's
forum.
why I said, yo, you one of those half full type people, huh?
They're always upset. They're always angry. But thank you for coming to the channel and blessing us with your presence, inshallah. Go ahead. What were you saying?
I liked the beginning. Lately, I've been skeptical, silent when I used to speak, distant from all around me who witness me fail and become weak. Life is overwhelming. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. I'd love to be the one to disappoint you when I don't fall down. That's it had such a chill sound to it, but then that's like a really real first verse. You know what I mean? Like having this, they've distanced themselves because they've gone through, I guess, something. And life is overwhelming to them. But when he says, I'd love to be the one to disappoint you when I don't fall down. So he's thinking people want to see him fail.
I don't think it's the people. I think it's a relationship he's in. You don't understand what I'm attempting to explain. Because you know it all and I guess things will never change. But you might need my hand when falling in your hole. Your disposition, I'll remember when I'm letting go of you.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah.
You and me were through. So it seems you're not satisfied. There's too much on your mind. So you leave, and I can't believe all the bullshit that I find. Life is overwhelming, heavy is the head that wears the crown.
This line, too.
I'd love to be the one to disappoint you when I don't fall down.
But you don't understand what I'm attempting to explain because you know it all, and I guess things will never change.
Yeah, so it's he's in a pretty toxic relationship.
Yeah.
And there you go. You're no good for me. Thank God it's over. You make me believe that nothing is wrong until you cry.
What is that? Well, like when the person will be like, no, everything's good, it's good, but they're really getting more and progressively more and more
when
upset.
they won't communicate, and then all of a sudden you step into a landmine of emotion, and it's like, where the hell did that come from? And it's like, you did this thing 3 weeks ago, and the person's like, what the fuck? Why did we talk about this 3 weeks ago? Why did we wait? Now there's a landmine, and there's all this explosion of tears and blood and agony. What are your thoughts?
You should start communicating, Vince. You don't put me in that situation.
What did Amy say? She was like, that was the most productive and respectful fight I've seen in a long.
Yeah.
I'm gonna republish that fight.
No, don't do it.
No, I'm not gonna do it.
My ego's too big.
I don't understand how that damaged anybody's ego. Did we talked about fighting on the thingamajiggy?
Yes, I know, but there's a particular thing that you say that I do not like, but I think sometimes it's necessary, but I don't like it at all. And then there's like, I understand where you're coming from and what you're trying to accomplish, but the feminist side of me is always like, ooh. And so when I don't like respond, and then that was like public, I was like, I can't. Strike it from the record.
Relationships are hard, man. But that's the thing. It's like, you gotta communicate.
Yeah.
You gotta communicate.
Yeah. Sometimes communicating is difficult though, because things can be going well, and you're like, if I say something about this, then it could turn into a big discussion, and we perhaps won't agree. And then what if, that person gets angry, or your feelings get hurt, or vice versa, or whatever. Like, it just seems like it introduces so much. Look at that. Look at that look.
No, I'm listening to you.
Yeah, I mean, I think that in long term, it's better if you're able to communicate and all of that. But if you're just kind of like looking at the short window, you're like, I want to have a good day today, instead of thinking I want to have a good future. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jordan talks about sacrifice. You always have to sacrifice something. You can't have everything. And so you have to, in this instance, you sacrifice today's happiness for that discussion because you want to have a good future with the person.
I don't know if you're
I knew you were going to say that. I knew it.
Okay. So like the conversation we had in the car yesterday.
But it was a good conversation, and it went well, like when you look at the long term, but it was very stressful for me. I cannot stand, I don't like any, like if I had my way, we would always agree, but I know that there's no depth in that.
Okay, like on the way to Augusta, so we hit Five Guys at some point, right?
Yeah.
Like, you were stressed the entire time? Wasn't there like a crest to where it's like, oh, this is gonna be
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like, and if we
ticking up to the top of the
right, but if we could repeat that again, the stress would be less and less and less and less.
Right. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
No, I agree.
But if you never communicate and then the thing explodes and then it's like, this could have been, then it gets like, that's my thing. It's like, I'd much rather front load all of the disagreements now when we're completely young so that we could cruise. Like, and
I see the plan, and I
think for me, like, to me, it's about building. You know what I'm saying? And if we could say, okay, let's build here, and put a narrative over it of, okay, we're building here instead of arguing, then I think that could, because that's what I'm trying to. I think we're looking for the same thing, only you're trying to skip steps. And I'm saying let's get to the steps because you want a stress-free.
1,000%.
Right?
I agree with that. That's probably the most calibrated thing we've both felt in the long time. Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And that actually makes me feel good that you recognize that too.
Yeah, like we're trying to get the same. But to me, it's like, because I've had to grind and struggle all my life, I know that you cannot skip steps.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I feel like because of the way that you grew up, there was like this veneer.
We were always looking for silver bullets, yeah.
Yeah, there was this veneer of, mom and dad are And now as an adult, maybe you look at things a little bit different. That maybe it wasn't as crisp and clean as it appeared.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think most things are like that. When you look back, you're like, sometimes I'm like, I wonder what the kids are gonna all piece together when they're older. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think there's gonna be much. Like me and Dorian have some pretty explicit. He's like, hey father, you and mom argue? I was like, oh yeah, argue all the time. He's like, aren't you afraid that she's gonna leave you? I was like, no. I said, this is how it's gonna be, buddy.
yeah.
You and your lady are gonna, But I told him it's better to front load it, and then when you get older, you'll be good to go.
Yeah.
And he's not convinced because he's got your disposition.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But like, I think if two people are like determined to build, like, okay, this is a build session because we're miscalibrated somewhere, and we're trying to build this little, we do really good with it when it comes to business stuff.
Yeah.
We're very good at building business wise.
Yeah.
Like, you know where your lane is, I know what my lane is. If there's a miss here, there's a miss here.
Yeah, there's no emotion in that. It's just.
Well, we could put emotion into it, but.
Well, I did used to be emotional about it.
Yeah, you were very emotional
Yeah.
on the business side. But, like, if we could look at the relationship, like, okay, let's build here. Like, like the situation yesterday, I think it was very productive. And
I agree.
And I feel like, the next time something like that happens, like, whatever the issue was is going to be, dealt with. You know what I'm saying? I'm being very vague here, but do you agree or no? Like,
I mean, I do agree, but like, I think that sometimes I feel like, how there's like different versions of a person. Like there's a version of me that's like, you're right. We can talk that stuff through and we'll just get over that spot and it's going to be good.
Yeah.
But then there's like versions of me that's like, this will never work. We should always just hide how we're feeling. Let's pretend you're happy. I'll pretend I'm happy. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But then, but then there's like the rational part of me that's like more mature. That's like, well, no, like people have difficulties and you're not going to agree on everything. Like you're your own person. In fact, you should be alarmed and have anxiety if you always get along. That means something's fake. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, but it just depends on which. So like, yeah, I was like, I have to be rational. I have to like tap into that rational part of myself because I felt emotional at the beginning of the conversation.
Well, we were both emotional about it though.
Yeah.
I wasn't like.
No, you were. You were completely. No, you weren't. No, because if you were a computer, then I would react that way.
That's not how it is. Like, we're both emotional.
No, it's true. We were both emotional.
Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? But, like, that's what I'm saying is, like, the narratives that you put on top of it is, like, outside of the discussion, you were being emotional and I was being logical. Like, no. Like, we were both being emotional and we were both being logical. You were both and I was both. It wasn't...
Oh, yeah. No, I know. Yeah. I know you were being emotional.
Yeah, it wasn't one of the... And you were also being logical. Because we wouldn't have been able to speak otherwise.
No, I know. Right?
Like,
trying to pull it back in and.
Yeah, we were both. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. But I think like this relationship, obviously, it didn't work.
Yeah. I mean, like you can have those, but like you said, you have to be building and you have to be going toward. I think that's kind of been the thing with us too, is we've always been building more than just our relationship.
It's true.
So
even before we had a relationship,
right?
Relationship,
right?
Yeah,
right. We were always building other things. Yeah. So there's always like, so sometimes if I'm like, because everything gets very dramatized in my mind. So if we have a disagreement or we have a fight, like maybe it's like this for you, and for me it's like this is huge. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So I don't remember what I was gonna say with that, but
I was just saying this relationship, it didn't work. And he's like, thank God it's over. Mm-hmm. And he's like, it's unfortunate, but yeah, I will say, like, it was horrible because I invested like 15 years of my life in the other one, but there was a sense of like, thank God that's over.
Yeah.
Because we could never, for whatever reason, I could never figure out the algorithm, And I always say, like, you're the man, you're ultimately responsible. So I could never get that thing to work. So, it's a miss, a fail, whatever. But there was a big part of me that was very, very relieved that thing was like definitively and completely over.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
Like, very relieved. Very relieved. So
there was times when like the energy around that person was so toxic that when they would leave where I was like, whew.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It is logical-otional.
I know. I thought that was
sorry
cute.
is emotion-logical. That's probably the comment of the year so far. I'm gonna put that there. I'm gonna screenshot that shit.
Yeah, it's good like that. It's
great.
well, it has a little artsiness to it, like our pictures where she drew us.
Yeah, Shorty was like massively toxic. She really, really was. And I bless the Most High every day that I'm not in that situation anymore. And that's no disrespect to her because she's working
on herself and she's doing
a lot of freaking self-improvement, bro. Honestly, she really, really is, and you know I salute that. But God Almighty, I basically had to be the sacrificial lamb for that to happen. But okay, whatever. What do you give the song?
9.9.
Holy smokes, this is the first one we had while we had grade. We had grade 9.9 as well. This is a 9.9.
Every time you do that voice, it reminds me of Seinfeld. The way he does.
Really?
Yes.
That's me being what do you call it? Excited. Took singing lessons from Scott Weiling of Stone Temple Pilots for this song. Huh. It shows. It really does. I liked what he did here. I thought this was a great song. I don't care what anybody says. It's a 9.9. That's how I feel about it. Shout out to DJ. We weren't even thinking.
Oh, whoops. I must have clicked on the wrong one. I meant to put this one up.
We weren't even thinking of doing a stream today.
Oh, right.
We didn't have it on the record. And I was like, she's like, oh, somebody wants to do. I said, who is it? And then she said, it's Tony. I was like, oh, well, it's Tony?
That's so funny. Because I was super tired today, too.
I could fit it in there. Huh?
I was super tired today, too. I was like, I'm going to bed. I've been going to bed early. I know. Well, I don't know. 4 o'clock in the morning was yesterday, so.
She's very
but anyway,
selfish.
Yes, that's so selfish. Anyway, but I was like going to probably crash early tonight or whatever. Actually, I had other plans that I wanted to accomplish. And then I got the message. I was like, oh, no, but it's DJ Anthony. And so I'm like, all right. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna say it to Vinny and see what he says. And then both of us were on the same page. We're like, we're doing it.
Yeah. Excellent, Kai. Kai, your stream's coming up pretty soon here. That's gonna be an event, dear listener, for DJ Kai to show up. We got a lot of cool streams. I think Amy also has like a Battle of the Bands type stream. I'm not completely sure what the idea is, but we got that coming down the pipe.
I think was it Kai that was picking like songs that we absolutely should have done live and didn't? Was that Kai?
I'm pretty sure that was, yeah.
Kai, I actually have to. I gotta send you an email about it because I actually had an idea. Anyway.
Yeah, Tony. Pretty much anybody but you, it wouldn't have been done. Yeah, the ham versus bacon stream. The ham versus bacon stream, which has been like a running thing in our little thingamajig. It's her versus DJ Mike Franco. So we're gonna have to come up with some cool graphics and stuff. That's the more we figure out what the thingamajiggy is.
Look!
There you go.
Look at BC's message.
BC says I am very happy. That's probably because we said
screen cap it, y'all.
Having said that,
oh no, that's so bad.
BC is probably the reincarnated version of Lilo.
Yeah.
You knew! Yeah. We have the connection! We have such a connection! Yeah!
Yeah!
Okay, guys. Vin out!
Sorry, out.